Is it okay to celebrate the death of Charlie Kirk? Because today, America is not just filled with people mourning the death of a father and husband. It's also filled with people celebrating the death of a controversial political figure.
Charlie Kirk got shot and killed. How do you feel?
Happy. Goodbye.
Wow. Did you see that Charlie Kirk just got shot and killed?
That's good.
Charlie Kirk gets shot and killed today. What do you feel about that?
Girl, someone had to do it.
Tonight we're looking at some disturbing videos that will haunt you forever.
The bullet struck Kirk in the neck, causing him to collapse on the stage. But how did the assassin escape despite the huge crowd? The assailant's use of distance, the campus layout, and what is believed to be a scoped firearm indicate a high degree of planning and precision. The shooter chose an elevated, concealed position to avoid close detection and maximize the chances of escape. Here is the bullet trajectory.
Welcome back, guys. Thank you to all the channel members for support. If you guys haven't already subscribed, make sure to smash that subscribe button. We're 25k off of 100k. Also, make sure to like and hype up the video so it gets pushed to more people. Let's go.
This is the craziest thing I have ever seen. This article was posted 2 days ago, and it's a writer who hired multiple Etsy witches to curse Charlie Kirk. Today, he's been confirmed dead after getting pew-pewed at a Utah university. You cannot make this up. For the record, Pop Diaries does not condone violence or unaliving of people, but let's get into it. The writer wanted to curse Charlie Kirk. One of the witches that she hired for a powerful hex spell. She provided Charlie's birthday, and the witch said something really unsettling. The witch had told her, "I just completed your spell and it was successful. You will see the first results within 2 to 3 weeks. However, I did notice some disturbances." She says that negative energy will not only be on the writer of this article, but also projected at her. And then she also hired another one for another hex, and that witch showed her the receipt of her doing the hex, which showed proof of Charlie's photograph in flames, the edges curving inward, engulfing Charlie's ridiculous scrunched up little face, she says. And then the witch told her, "Trust the unseen." Here's the crazy part. The writer actually made the purchase on August 22nd, which is the Virgo new moon, she says. Now remember, the first witch had told her, wait for 2 to 3 weeks to see results. Charlie's unaliving happened nearly 3 weeks after she paid for this. At the end of the article, the writer says, "So, did my Etsy curses work? Time will tell." She says the forces move in mysterious ways, and as the priestess reminded her, spellwork is a collaboration between the caster, the client, and the universe itself. And then at the end, she also thanks the witches. She also says, "And to you, Mr. Kirk, may the rash come swiftly." That is insane.
A man who went overboard on a cruise ship over the weekend allegedly jumped ship to avoid paying a $16,000 gambling debt. Jay Gonzalez Diaz began his Royal Caribbean cruise on August 31st. When the ship returned to Puerto Rico on September 7th, he allegedly jumped off the boat and into the water near Port San Juan. Then he jumps on the back of someone's jet ski and is brought to shore. U.S. Customs and Border Protection later found him near the Capitol building in Puerto Rico with $14,600 in cash, 2 phones, and 5 IDs. This is all according to a criminal complaint, which also says Gonzalez Diaz allegedly did this whole thing to avoid the monetary reporting requirements when traveling into the United States. He allegedly told officers he jumped off the cruise ship because he, quote, did not want to report the currency on his possession because he thought he was going to be taxed duties for bringing in the currency. Okay, that's not all. Upon further investigation, they found that he owed Royal Caribbean $16,710.24. That's according to the complaint. That debt was almost exclusively associated to gambling and casino expenses, according to the complaint. So what makes this even all the more complicated is that Jay Gonzalez Diaz booked the cruise under the name Jeremy Diaz, but a Jeremy Omar Gonzalez Diaz has been in a detention center in Puerto Rico since January. Jay said that's his brother. The complaint also said when they asked Jay for his full name, he told investigators, quote, "If you guys were good at your job, you would know that." According to local media, Jay Gonzalez Diaz was released on bail, and if he's convicted, he could face a fine of up to $250,000 or a maximum 5-year prison sentence, or both.
My least favorite things about space, part 19. Space is not like a fun place to be. Sure, at first you might float around a little bit, get a great view, and then your eyeballs are gonna get deformed. And the structure of your brain, like how it sits inside your skull, is going to change. You're gonna lose density in your bones. Like an old lady with osteoporosis, that's gonna be you. If you're not working out legitimately all the time, you're also gonna lose muscle mass, which not only means that you're gonna be weaker, but it also means that your heart is going to shrink. Food is gonna stop tasting good, not only because of the effects of microgravity, but because they cater your entire diet so that you fart less, because if you fart, your farts are flammable, and you could set the entire space station on fire and squad wipe your entire crew. And if they put you in a spacesuit, sometimes the gloves are so tight that your fingernails come off. The skin on the bottom of your feet is gonna fall off. You're probably also gonna lose any notion of up and down or a 24-hour day, because if you're on the ISS, the sun comes up every hour and a half. It's also worth noting that it's gonna smell so bad because you're literally trapped in a floating box with a bunch of people who can't really take a shower and all of their waste. And when you take a tinkle on the ISS, it gets recycled into your drinking water. But the worst thing is that the entire time that you're there, you're getting blasted by radiation. And in case you forgot, radiation does not make you a member of the Fantastic Four. It gives you cancer.
See, someone like me, I like to be outside, work at a walk, go for a run, you know what I'm saying? See a dog, see the trees. Like, if I'm trapped in that confined space for months, I'm gonna be depressed, literally.
For the Utah Department of Public Safety. If you look up to the top left, you'll see the building where the shooter was proned out in the top left corner. We'll go ahead and play that video and I'll narrate as we walk through that. So here you see that the suspect ran behind that upper building. He's going to come out on the right, moves to this far right corner. As he does, he's going to climb off the edge and then drop down to the ground. As he did that, he left some palm impressions. There's some smudges, some places we're looking to collect DNA. There's a shoe imprint where we believe the suspect is clearly identified as wearing Converse tennis shoes. Again, we'll replay that again so you can get another view of that. It's important to note his black t-shirt, his black pants, and there appears to be some white on the soles of those Converse tennis shoes. Those are all identifiable items that we're looking for. In the stills that are going to follow this, you're going to see a very distinctive t-shirt with an American flag and appears to have an eagle on it. There's also a baseball cap with a triangle on it and a pair of sunglasses. All distinctive, all things that we would ask the public to look for and try to identify if they know someone who has those items, who has been seen wearing those items. We're looking for all that information. Here you see the suspect after dropping off the building. He moved around across this grassy area, around the parking lot. We're going to pan to the right. After he crosses the street, this is where he moves over into the wooded area. This is the video evidence that we utilize to track his movements and to locate that firearm in that wooded area following the discovery of this evidence. Good. You want to go to the stills? So here's the still photographs I mentioned. These have been enhanced. So these are slightly different than what we introduced earlier. Please pay close attention to the t-shirt. Like I said, very distinctive with that American flag and that eagle. The hat with the triangle and the sunglasses. If you'll go to the next picture, please. The backpack as well. All identifying features that we're hoping the public can help us identify and lead us to this suspect. Next picture. And again, there's a better picture of the hat with that triangle logo and again the t-shirt. Blue jeans, and you get a good look at those Converse tennis shoes as well. We have pushed these out, we'll continue to push these out, and we just ask for the public's cooperation through the public. The tips that have been coming in are what are giving us our next leads and enabling us to continue to further this investigation. We've had great cooperation from the public, and we're continuing to ask for that as we move forward.
Yeah, so towards the end of this video, I actually show clips of where they actually found him and how they found him. So yes, they did end up finding the suspect, and a lot of you probably already saw over the weekend that it pretty much showed that they found the dude, they arrested him, and they figured out the reason why he did it.
नहीं कटने की गलत बाहर हो बाहर मुझे बताना पानी बहुत तेज है
2019, you were driving and you were at an intersection and then suddenly your car gets shot up. I guess there was 12 shots?
26.
26 shots.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first time you got hit.
Yeah.
And you actually got hit in the neck.
Yeah, I got hit in the neck.
Okay, well, how many times did you get hit total?
I got shot one time. One bullet came from my neck to my back.
Do you drive yourself to the hospital?
No, I actually got out the car. I had people was looking at my neck. I knew something was wrong. So I put my hoodie over my neck and there was a car behind me. I tried to open their door and get in it and go to the hospital, tell them to take me to the hospital, but I couldn't talk. My voice was graspy at the time. I guess because I was hitting the neck, I was like, take me to the hospital, take me to the hospital. I couldn't even talk. I ain't had no voice or nothing. So I'm snatching on people's doors. They pulling off on me. It was like 4 cars behind me. So I went to the fourth car. The fourth car that was behind me, dude, like, man, come on, get in. I'll take you. Took me to the hospital. I went to the hospital. I was walking in the hospital. I was walking in that bitch. I walked in like, I'm walking in the hospital with my thing on my neck, just walking in the hospital. They like, sit right here. A lady came, shot me in my arm with something. I went through surgery and I made it.
Okay. Without saying any names, do you personally know who did it?
No, I don't know.
Do you feel angry over the situation still?
No, I ain't angry.
Really? I think I would be angry.
Dude definitely got better patience than me. He said he got shot in the neck and he's chilling. He's not mad or none. He's like, it is what it is. First of all, I'm trying to figure out how he was able to breathe and or talk. She said he got shot here and it went to his back. What? With that basically an AK-47. For those who don't know what a Draco is, it's pretty much like an AK-47 without a stock.
If reincarnation is real, with the family you have right now that you love and you're attached to and you don't want to die because you don't want to leave them, the family that before you came here, you died, and you love that family a lot too. But that family's probably still here on Earth depending on how old you are. That's crazy, right? And you don't even remember them, and you forgot them, and they're grieving you. But if you're 20, let's just say they're 20 years older than they were without you. For the last 20 years, they've been grieving you, and you're here again. We would treat people a lot different if we looked at them like it could be a potential past family member. Because if we seen an older person walking out of a store, not really, being too happy or whatever, how do we know they're not grieving somebody they lost? And even if they told you they were grieving somebody they lost, what if that somebody was you? And that was your people, that was your parents, that was your dad, that was your mom. And and you wouldn't act like that to them. Or even if they were able to prove it and said, hey, this is your past life parent, would that be awkward or what? You'd be like, it feels like a stranger. But if they proved it, would you still have that same love? Or would it be different because you were on a different energetic lifespan at this time?
Breaking space news, NASA just had a press conference and they said this.
Did we get this right? Do we think this is signs of ancient life on Mars? And after a year of review, they've come back and they said, listen, we can't find another explanation. So this very well could be the clearest sign of life that we've ever found on Mars.
This image was taken by the Perseverance rover on Mars and released by NASA last year, and this rock is now the best evidence we've ever had for ancient life on Mars. This is the area where the rover is on Mars, and it very obviously had running water in the past. And the rover took a sample of this rock and found that it contains organic compounds. If you zoom in, you can see these white polka dots surrounded by black rings. These contain iron and phosphate. We've never seen this on Mars, but we have seen this on Earth when there's a fossilized record of microbes living in the subsurface. The spots on the rock could have been left behind by microbial life if it had used the raw ingredients, the organic carbon, the sulfur, and the phosphorus that we see on the rock as an energy source. There are ways to produce these spots without biological reactions, things like sustained high temperatures, acidic conditions, and binding organic compounds, but there's no evidence of any of that happening here. This is what this area looked like. So this specific rock in an ancient river valley has organic matter and crystallized magma right here, and an energy source for microbes. So it's becoming not only possible, but increasingly likely that this is the first evidence of ancient microbial life on Mars.
Okay, so this is some of the craziest shit I've ever seen, right? So I'm at the Charlie Kirk event, which is here at Utah Valley University. And as soon as the event gets started, and he was maybe on like the first, second person or whatever, and what I thought I heard was fireworks, like firecrackers or something like that. And then everybody just starts freaking out, ducking, and running, trying to get down, take cover, get through the doors. Turns out Charlie Kirk got shot. Yes, Charlie Kirk got shot. There's multiple people that were telling me how they saw like he was shot like around this area and like blood was like oozing out of that area and stuff. Dude, that's absolutely insane. But no more shots were fired after that. Like, they shot Charlie Kirk and just completely stopped. I don't know what the hell's going on, because, you know, there should be, you know, more police and stuff like that. This is a massive event at Utah Valley University. There's tons of people and there's terrible policing, which is insane, you know, because you never know. There might be some crazy ass person out there with a gun, and look what happened today. So, see, look at this. You hear the police sirens, everything. Dude, that is scary. I've never had anything like that happen. And, you know, let me tell you, man, just because you don't agree with somebody doesn't mean you should try to take their life, man. That's messed up, you know? Like, you know, I'm not even a fan of Charlie Kirk. I disagree with him on a lot of stuff, and I think he's a shill. But, dude, that's so wrong still. Like, why would somebody try to take another person's life just because they disagree? I don't know, dude. At the end of the day, man, just don't take your life for granted. Hopefully he's okay, man. I really, really hope Charlie Kirk is okay, regardless of our differences in opinion, man. I hope he has a fast recovery. I hope he's not, you know, I hope he's still alive. So, sad to see, man, sad to see.
That was someone there live at the scene. You can hear the police sirens going off crazy. He said he hopes he's still alive. Dude, when you get shot like that, I don't know why the news try to bait people like, oh yeah, he was still alive, he's just in critical condition. Dude, you are not surviving that. Like, he lost consciousness instantly. As soon as the bullet hit him, it was lights. It was almost like a headshot.
This very well could be the clearest sign of life that we've ever found on Mars.
So last July, NASA's Perseverance rover found a leopard-spotted rock at Mars. And scientists immediately knew. It was interesting, we hadn't seen anything like that before.
What we saw in this rock were these layers of very fine-grained, rusty red mudstone that had in them these incredible features, these things that we took to calling poppy seeds, which are the sort of dark black spots in the rock, and leopard spots, which are these kind of ring-shaped features that have dark rims around them.
They've done the analysis on these leopard spots, and we think they are potentially made by some sort of ancient life. This finding by our incredible Perseverance rover is the closest we've actually come to discovering ancient life on Mars.
The discovery of a potential biosignature, or a feature or signature that could be consistent with biological processes, but that requires further work and study to confirm a biological origin.
Alright, so this was Charlie Kirk's shooter, alright? This was 200 yards away. They came out and said that the shooter was 200 yards away. That's him right there. The whole video, you can see it, alright? As someone that's done competitive shooting for almost 3 years and has a vast experience with firearms, this is a difficult shot to make with a 308 round. Alright? I don't care who you are, like, especially because this is a normal dude. It's not like he has some, like, crazy training unless that we don't know of. This is not an easy shot, like, for a normal person to take. And that old guy that they detained, whoever it really was, because they said that might not be the shooter, whoever it really was, I almost guarantee you that they will not reveal the actual shooter, because that is a difficult shot to make. I don't know why they never revealed the actual shooter.
What's that? Oh, scientists have discovered that octopuses have arrived here on Earth from a comet from millions of miles away? What? Yeah, you heard that right. Scientists have discovered that octopuses come from a comet from millions of miles away, then landed on Earth. Now, what's even crazier is videos are coming out of octopuses making their own cities in the ocean. They're building and constructing their own cities in the ocean. Oh, goody. I'm so happy for them to be able to just build their own cities without any repercussions, such as paying taxes or just paying for the land that they're building it on. That's so wonderful for them. Okay. Is there any way that we can start making up our own rules when it comes to building homes and structures and such? Oh, no, okay.
I mean, respectfully, we don't even know if they're actually paying taxes or not, because we're not octopus. But yeah, he's not lying. This is what he's talking about, pretty much. Isn't it crazy? Octopus making cities.
Subscribe. This is what different dimensions look like. Okay, so we have a glass table in someone's kitchen. Boom. There is a whole nother world, a whole nother dimension, all around us, all the time. But we can't see it. Stay weird, y'all.
On September 10, 2025, Charlie Kirk was assassinated. This is the possible position where the assassin had a clear line of sight from a building located about 430 feet away. The assassin squeezed the trigger and a single bullet traveled this distance and struck Charlie Kirk right in the neck. More detail all in the video ahead. Charlie Kirk was tragically assassinated at Utah Valley University in Orem, Utah on September 10, 2025. He was hosting a large outdoor debate event as part of Turning Point USA's nationally publicized tour, titled the American Comeback Tour. This event was designed as a lively debate platform called Prove Me Wrong, where Kirk invited students to challenge his political and cultural views. But first, let's orient ourselves with a bird's-eye view of the scene and the positions of everyone involved. Utah Valley University's campus is a mix of open courtyards and multi-story academic buildings. At the heart of the event was the Lozy Center building, a multi-story structure adjacent to the main courtyard where Kirk's event took place. Charlie Kirk himself was positioned on an outdoor stage under a large white tent emblazoned with the tour's banner. He was sitting and speaking into a microphone, facing hundreds of students seated along the main walkway and gathered around the stage. The crowd was estimated at over 3,000 attendees, including students and visitors. Meanwhile, on the rooftop of the Lozy Center building, a person dressed entirely in black was seen. This building was approximately 430 feet, about 131 meters, from where Kirk and his team were stationed on the stage. The rooftop provided a clear vantage point with open sightlines directly to the event area. Security footage and numerous eyewitness accounts have confirmed that the gunshot rang out from this rooftop location while Kirk was actively speaking. The bullet struck Kirk in the neck, causing him to collapse on the stage. But how did the assassin escape despite the huge crowd? The assailant's use of distance, the campus layout, and what is believed to be a scoped firearm indicate a high degree of planning and precision. The shooter chose an elevated, concealed position to avoid close detection and maximize the chances of escape. Here is the bullet trajectory. Given this altitude, the assassin had a clear, unobstructed line of sight directly to the stage where Charlie Kirk was standing and addressing the crowd. The bullet's trajectory descended steeply and accurately through open space to strike Kirk in the neck, which strongly suggests the use of a scoped firearm designed for long-range precision. As soon as the shot was fired, the gunman likely retreated to an entrance on the top of the building. Despite security efforts, the shooter disappeared without a trace, climbing down from the building and blending into nearby campus structures or escape routes surrounding the Lozy Center. Witnesses reported that panic broke out immediately after the shot. The audience scattered, seeking shelter as shouts of "Get down" and "Run" echoed across the courtyard. Campus police and Kirk's personal security team moved swiftly to secure the area and evacuate Kirk.
Which is more accurate, a camera photo or a mirror reflection?
Neither. Now, this is a really important question. When you look at yourself in a selfie photo, we actually did a clinical trial on this. When you look at yourself in a selfie photo, it distorts your face. It makes the center part of your face wider. So you think of yourself as having a big nose or a small chin, and that's because of fish eyes. Now, to make sure that the photo of you is real, is you want to be at a distance of 5 feet. In that case, you get a more standardized photo that's more accurate of what you truly look like. Now remember, an image in a camera is a reverse image of what you see in the mirror. So sometimes you see something in the mirror like, oh, I don't like this. I got this spot here. And then in a camera, it's on the opposite side. So you get confused, and sometimes you don't know what you like. So the bottom line is, we often don't really know what we look like, and you cannot trust selfies, whether it's you or a friend. That may not be a true representation.
All right, so this was Charlie Kirk's shooter, all right? This was 200 yards away. They came out and said that the shooter was 200 yards away. That's him right there. The whole video, you can see it, all right? As someone that's done competitive shooting for almost 3 years and has a vast experience with firearms, this is a difficult shot to make with a 308 round. All right, I don't care who you are, like, especially because this is a normal dude. It's not like he has some crazy training unless that we don't know of. This is not an easy shot for a normal person to take. And that old guy that they detained, whoever it really was, because they said that that might not be the shooter, whoever it really was, I almost guarantee you that they will not reveal the actual shooter, because that is a difficult shot to make. I don't know why they never revealed the actual shooter.
Was Charlie Kirk killed instantly? I'm a forensic scientist and a former CSI. I got this question on a recent video, so let me explain. Now, obviously, he was transported from the scene and he was briefly listed as critical at the hospital, but functionally, I think he died pretty much immediately, and let me explain why. Now, this is a picture of him taken just before he was shot. In fact, you can see in this still that I grabbed from a video that his shirt is actually wrinkling because the bullet is traveling across his chest. So it's literally the instant before he is shot. And you can see that his arms are down. But then just a moment later, after he's shot, both of his arms curl up and he's got both of his hands in fists. One, it's hard to tell because he's holding the microphone, but the other hand makes a fist and he holds both arms up to his chest and then he falls over. So it looks like he's decorticating, which is this posture that you see. Obviously, this person is lying down, but when you decorticate, you kind of pull your hands up to your chest like a boxer and you make little fists and your wrists curl. When you decorticate, your arms are bent upwards, you have curled wrists, and your hands ball up. This is a reflex that happens when you have a very severe brain injury or brainstem injury. Coupling that with the fact that he lost an unbelievable amount of blood very quickly, and I've already talked about the damage that would have been done to the internal structures by the temporary and permanent wound cavity, I do think that he died basically instantly for all intents and purposes.
It's exactly like what I was saying earlier. I'm pretty sure he literally died instantly. It only makes sense.
The son of Norway's future king has just been charged with rape, sexual assault, bodily harm, and 23 other offenses. And this was part of an over 10-month-long investigation that police say involved a, quote, double-digit number of alleged victims. God damn, that's Prince Joffrey IRL. 28-year-old Marius Hobie had one hella busy 2024. He was arrested 3 times in 4 months. And then since then, police have been investigating, but then last week, they officially hit him with 23 criminal charges. They said they have evidence of the crimes, which include text messages, pictures, videos, witness testimonies, and police searches. And the attorney for the Oslo police said, quote, "I cannot go into further detail about the number of victims in the case beyond confirming that it is in the double digits."
There's been a shooting. We heard shots. You guys okay? Okay, love you. Be safe.
Is it okay to celebrate the death of Charlie Kirk? Because today, America is not just filled with people mourning the death of a father and husband. It's also filled with people celebrating the death of a controversial political figure.
Charlie Kirk got shot and killed. How do you feel?
Happy. Goodbye.
Wow. Did you see that Charlie Kirk just got shot and killed?
That's good.
Charlie Kirk gets shot and killed today. What do you feel about that?
Girl, someone had to do it.
I mean, it didn't take long. This man was seen on camera smiling and pumping his fists just moments after the shot rang out. And according to witnesses, he wasn't the only one.
The liberals who were there were cheering, and someone just got killed. Disgusting.
One TikToker by the name of Horace Gold has gone viral for sharing his opinion on why it should be acceptable to celebrate his death.
Oh no, someone who wants me dead died. Anyway, piece of shit. You got what you deserve. I'm sorry, you're a bad person. Bad things happen to bad people, celebrate it. It should happen more often. Not death necessarily, but like karma. Some of y'all are weak. You should be able to say, thank God that my dead. Thank God that is no longer able to cause harm. It's a miracle. Hallelujah. Ding dong, the witch is dead. No one mourns the wicked.
And a lot of the comments backed him up. Like, am I crazy? He was a bad, dangerous person. An advocate for gun violence was a victim of gun violence. Oh no. I do think his kids will be better without his influence in their upbringing. And I only share this because that comment got nearly 20,000 likes in the matter of hours. But the problem is, many people argue that celebrating a killing like this only encourages more.
If anyone in the sound of my voice celebrated even a little bit at the news of this shooting, I would beg you to look in the mirror and to see if you can find a better angel in there somewhere. I don't care what his politics are, I care that he was an American.
But before you think it's the entire left that feel this way, it's not. Project Liberal posted, "We agree with Charlie Kirk on basically nothing, except that he deserves the right, as every human does, to speak freely without the threat of violence." Multiple Democrat politicians and former presidents have spoken out condemning the shooting, and also some of the most prominent liberal figures on TikTok who have had heated debates with Charlie Kirk in the past, like Parker and Dean. They too condemned the shooting, and both even went as far as telling people who celebrated it to stop supporting them and unfollow. In fact, Dean said,
"If you want to end gun violence, it is something that you can never celebrate."
Unfortunately, America is increasingly becoming a place where their Second Amendment right is costing them their First Amendment right. But what do you guys think? Can this death be a wake-up call and a turning point for the country, or will this only divide Americans even more?
Respectfully celebrating someone's death that just had an opinion. He didn't go out and like hurt nobody, did anything to anyone. It wasn't, you know what I'm saying? Some of his opinions are very extreme, but I still don't think like he deserved to just get shot. Like, that's insane in my opinion.
Here's the last 24 hours in geopolitics. Shockwaves in America. Conservative activist Charlie Kirk tragically lost his life after being shot while speaking at Utah Valley University. A manhunt is underway. President Trump ordered flags at half-staff, and Vice President J.D. Vance rushed to Utah to console Kirk's family. In Washington, Trump demanded Netanyahu pledge not to strike Qatar again after Israel's attack on Hamas leaders in Doha. Qatar called it a betrayal and warned it may rethink its partnership with the U.S. Netanyahu remains defiant, saying Israel will target Hamas everywhere. In Nepal, the army is in talks with Gen Z protesters to appoint an interim leader after unrest forced the PM to resign. Former Chief Justice Sushila Karki is emerging as a frontrunner. In the Caribbean, the U.S. Coast Guard intercepted a suspected drug boat carrying tons of cocaine, sinking the vessel while Venezuela condemned the deployment of U.S. warships. France is ablaze once again. Protests under the Block Everything slogan shook the nation, with over 200,000 on the streets as new PM Sebastian Lecornu faced an immediate crisis. In London, Prime Minister Starmer fired Ambassador Peter Mandelson after revelations about his ties to Jeffrey Epstein. On Asia's tense borders, Thailand and Cambodia agreed to pull back heavy weapons after deadly July clashes, while India warned its citizens not to join Russia's military. NATO jets shot down Russian drones in Polish airspace, escalating fears of a direct clash with Moscow. Meanwhile, Israel struck Yemen's capital Sana'a, causing dozens of casualties just a day after hitting Hamas leaders in Qatar. In Congo, authorities say nearly 90 people were killed after IS-linked rebel attacks. In Gaza, severe malnutrition among children worsened as aid remains blocked. And Spain's sports minister called out double standards, urging Israeli teams be treated like Russian ones were in global competitions. America marked 24 years since 9/11 with solemn tributes. In the UK, Prince Harry met King Charles for the first time in 19 months. Australia announced $1.1 billion for Ghost Shark underwater drones to bolster its navy. And in Georgia, over 300 South Korean workers detained in last week's ICE raid were flown home, testing U.S.-Korea ties. Finally, in Tunisia, activists preparing the Gaza aid flotilla reported another suspected drone strike, which officials called an orchestrated assault on their mission.
For some reason, that news just gives me like World War II vibes. Like, every country is kind of like fighting right now. Ukraine and Russia. Israel is attacking like 3 other countries. Like, everything is just giving me clash. Like, before you know it, America is going to get dragged into something.
2 days after Charlie Kirk's assassination, the suspect has been identified as Tyler Robinson, a 22-year-old Utah resident. Here's what we know so far. Robinson was arrested Thursday night in southern Utah after allegedly confessing to his father. His father, a law enforcement veteran, reportedly alerted authorities and helped secure his son before officers took him into custody. Robinson was a student at Utah Valley University, insiders told Daily Mail. He lived in Washington, Utah, about 260 miles south of the assassination site in Orem. A 2017 photo from his mother's social media shows him dressed as Donald Trump for Halloween. His motive remains unclear.
Trump says the newly captured Kirk suspect will receive this severe punishment from the government after he released extensive details on the man that the FBI currently has in custody. During a live interview on Fox, Trump detailed that the FBI has a high degree of certainty that they currently have the correct perpetrator in custody. This is after authorities previously wrongly detained 2 people and then turned to the public for help by releasing images and videos of a person of interest, and they signed that the investigation was struggling. Trump then divulged that the capture was ultimately made possible because the FBI received a direct call from the suspect's own father, as according to Daily Mail, a 22-year-old Utah student was captured after he returned home and confessed to his dad, who served 27 years in the Washington County Sheriff's Department. His father immediately restrained him and held him until the authorities arrived. Trump went into further detail regarding the case by saying that the government will likely be seeking capital punishment against him.
Yeah, he's 100% getting either life in prison or the death penalty. One of the FBI directors actually said some crazy things. I'm about to put it in the video right now. They were saying that they want to give him like some Viking type punishment, like beheading type stuff. Like, isn't that crazy?
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We got him. On the evening of September 11th, a family member of Tyler Robinson reached out to a family friend who contacted the Washington County Sheriff's Office with information that Robinson had confessed to them or implied that he had committed the incident. This information was relayed to the Utah County Sheriff's Office and scene investigators at Utah Valley University. This information was also conveyed to the FBI. Investigators reviewed additional video footage from UVU surveillance and identified Robinson arriving on UVU campus in a gray Dodge Challenger at approximately 8:29 a.m. on September 10th, in which he is observed on video in a plain maroon t-shirt, light-colored shorts, a black hat with a white logo, and light-colored shoes. When encountered in person by investigators in Washington County on September 12th, in the early morning hours, Robinson was observed in consistent clothing with those surveillance images. Investigators interviewed a family member of Robinson who stated that Robinson had become more political in recent years. The family member referenced a recent incident in which Robinson came to dinner prior to September 10th, and in the conversation with another family member, Robinson mentioned Charlie Kirk was coming to UVU. They talked about why they didn't like him and the viewpoints that he had. The family member also stated Kirk was full of hate and spreading hate. The family member also confirmed Robinson had a gray Dodge Challenger. Investigators identified an individual as the roommate of Robinson. Investigators interviewed that roommate, who stated that his roommate, referring to Robinson, made a joke on Discord. Investigators asked if he would show them the messages on Discord. He opened it and showed several messages to investigators and allowed investigators to take photos of the screen as each message was shown by Robinson's roommate. These photos consisted of various messages, including content of messages between the phone contact named Tyler with an emoji icon and Robinson's roommate's device. The content of these messages included messages affiliated with the contact Tyler, stating a need to retrieve a rifle from a drop point, leaving the rifle in a bush, messages related to visually watching the area where a rifle was left, and a message referring to having left the rifle wrapped in a towel. The messages also refer to engraving bullets and a mention of a scope and the rifle being unique. Messages from the contact Tyler also mentioned that he had changed outfits. I know there has been speculation as well as to the writing on those casings, those bullet casings, and I believe we have that as well. And I will share that with you now. So the area north of Campus Drive Road where the suspect crossed over, you saw some of that in the video that we released last night, consists of a grassy area with trees on the edge of the UVU campus. Investigators discovered a bolt-action rifle wrapped in a dark-colored towel. The rifle was determined to be a Mauser Model 98 30-06 caliber bolt-action rifle. The rifle had a scope mounted on top of it. Investigators noted inscriptions that had been engraved on casings found with the rifle. Inscriptions on a fired casing read, "Notices, bulges, capital OWO, what's this, question mark." Inscriptions on the 3 unfired casings read, "Hey fascist, exclamation point, catch, exclamation point." Up arrow symbol, right arrow and symbol, and 3 down arrow symbols. A second unfired casing read, Oh Bella Ciao, Bella Ciao, Bella Ciao, Ciao Ciao, and a third unfired casing read, if you read this, you are gay, LMAO.
As that dude is reading it, it's crazy.
At a New York City pet store, a woman inexplicably kicks a puppy's kennel twice, then appears to argue with employees. And when they ask her to leave, she heads towards manager Emilio Ortiz, who's recording the incident with his phone.
Yo, out of here. What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? My thought process was keep her cool, get her out of here. And then she grabs a bunch of things that we have on our counter and throws them all over the floor.
Unfortunately, that's not all she does.
Oh my God. As she's walking out, she makes eye contact with one client and slaps them right in the face. Oh! And my coworker Jimmy goes to her and tries to calm her down a little bit, while her friend that was with her ran out of the store and tried to chase the slapper down.
But the friend of the woman who was slapped apparently loses sight of her.
Her friend calls 911. The police show up shortly thereafter.
According to court records, she is arrested and charged with assault and harassment. She pleads not guilty. The case is ongoing.
That is crazy. That woman literally did nothing. She just literally just looked like, what the hell?
My son texted me and said, hey, this is Tyler Robinson that lives 3 doors down. And I'm like, no, it can't be. And it was. Kid was smart, quiet. He never caused any problems. It was a shock. You know what I know about Tyler is he was always very quiet. He was very smart. He had just a real mellow personality. I did watch the press on the shooting pretty much all that day. My grandson happened to be at that rally. And then this morning, my son texted me and said, hey, this is Tyler Robinson that lives 3 doors down. And I'm like, no, it can't be. And it was. And it's shocking. That's not who's in our neighborhood.
A lot of people believe that's a UFO. I don't necessarily think it's a UFO. I personally think it's just a government classified new sort of technology that they're working on. A lot of people have been seeing it and they're like, oh my God, it's a UFO, it's a UFO. To me, I feel like UFOs don't really regulate to our lighting situation. You know how certain aircrafts have to have certain types of lights and certain types of flash so that other aircrafts know it's there? I feel like a UFO doesn't have none of that. It might have a light, but not necessarily how we do our traditional lighting systems for aviation, if you know what I'm trying to say.
They say every single holiday that we celebrate is celebrating one of the 7 deadly sins. Every single holiday. Okay. Think about it. The easiest one, Valentine's Day, celebrates the sin of lust.
Okay.
Thanksgiving, that celebrates the sin of gluttony.
Gluttony, yeah, because you're eating.
Because you're eating a lot. You're overeating. You're taking too much of the more than you need.
Yeah.
Now, Christmas, what do you think that is?
Christmas. Greed?
Greed.
Yeah.
Overconsumption and excess.
Okay.
Right? Wanting more of something.
That makes sense.
We're celebrating gifts. We're celebrating gifts. We're not really even celebrating the birth of Christ because people are so focused on the gifts and shit. St. Patrick's Day. It's sloth because people get blacked out drunk.
Oh, what the fuck?
Yeah. Now, Easter. This one's interesting.
I don't know.
The holiday of Easter, what sin would it be?
Easter. I don't know.
Check this out. This one gets deep.
Okay.
So they say it's
the most disturbing declassified government documents. This is 20%. Each video I go up will get worse and worse, so make sure to like and follow to keep up. This is Operation Northwoods. The operation was a list of proposals called for by the CIA to actually commit terrorism against the American military, civilian targets, and then blaming them on the Cuban government. The plan was formed during 1962, which we all know was the Cuban Missile Crisis. Some of the acts they were going to commit were shooting planes down, sinking boats of Cuban refugees, blowing up US ships, and the worst one is probably the mass murders in US cities. Ultimately, the plan was going to happen, and a lot of people in government were behind this, but the only reason it didn't happen is because JFK, the president at the time, said that, no, we're not gonna do it. This just goes to show you how far the government is willing to go to prove a point. I mean, murdering innocent people and then blaming it on Cuba is honestly a new low, so the real question is, what has happened that we don't know of yet? Make sure to like and follow for tomorrow's video.
Word out. Get ready. What word? Steal. Yes, steal. Read these words the fast way. Get ready. Play. Yes, play. Get ready. Must. Yes, must. Let's read these words the fast way without making a mistake. Get ready. Kite. Yes, kite. Get ready. Kick. Yes, Gibson. 60 on page 153. At the count of 3, you'll try it again. Get ready from the beginning of that sentence. Get ready. She played with her goat in her house. Go on. She played with her goat in her yard. Good job. Go on.
Mr. President, are you aware of the reports of the plane crash in New York? And is there anything...
Yo, I wonder what was going through his head, because he looked spaced out for a second. He was reading the books like, dude, what the hell is going on?
Remember what Vladimir Putin said about us being fed other Americans? There's no way this is from a cow. That looks like a big arm or a small leg. That is not beef. Not too long ago, Putin did say that Americans are being fed other Americans. And you can't tell me this is what a cow leg looks like. This looks like a small leg or a large arm. But we've been wrong before. As always, let me know what you think in the comments. Stay weird.
Honestly, that looked like someone's leg. Yo, I was looking at that, I was like, dude, I don't know if they just packaged the meat weird, but it literally looks like someone's limb. I was like, that's crazy. They ate humans. Disgusting. They ate humans. I wasn't aware of anything. I mean, about the murders, yes. But that they had eaten humans? What the hell? Humans? They smell like human flesh. They won't take me until this is cleared up. They won't take me until this is cleared up. You had me there to make a copy, so no, let me go. Yo, if they for really eating humans, it's clipped, bro. Do y'all think that they put dead humans in the food? Let me know, because I'm pretty sure we have the FDA, right? Like, you can't just do that.
John F. Kennedy was short-circuiting the New World Order. He had ordered the printing of constitutional money, United States notes, which would have destroyed the Federal Reserve, which is not an agency of the United States government. It's a private corporation owned and operated by the world bankers, controlled by the Illuminati, and its purpose was to destroy the middle class in this country and thus our economy. You see it unfolding now. You are seeing, and I predicted this well in advance, you are seeing the destruction of the economy of the United States. And it will continue. It will not get better. It's downhill from here on out. Unless we nationalize the Federal Reserve, lock up the criminals who own it, cancel the debt, which will then bankrupt the Illuminati, which is exactly what we ought to do, print constitutional money, which cannot be usurped, which cannot lead to our destruction, and go back to what we're supposed to do, and quit contracting for benefits. We're escaping from the laws of nature, and there's a terrible consequence for that. You can't contract for somebody else to keep you alive. You have to be responsible within your life to keep yourself alive. And if you can't do it, then you have to die. That's the law of nature.
He just try to play off of the aliens with the illegal aliens. Yo, he's funny for that. That's actually hilarious. Dude, he definitely knows a lot, bro. He's just like, nah, I just don't believe it. He literally told the same response to every single person he gets in the interview.
Okay, here's another conspiracy theory. You've seen all the grainy footage of nuclear test blasts that you've
sure.
with the mushroom clouds, and there are always these grainy things, and there's all these like little houses lined up and these little trees lined up, and it blows everything down. Yeah. Okay, so here's the question, right? So what happened? Okay, so this is great. Okay, you'll love this. So what happened to the camera?
You son of a bitch.
how is that happening yet the camera is like totally stable and fine?
Oh my god!
And by the way, and the film is fine. The radiation didn't cause any damage to the film.
Oh my god!
And by the way, okay, we'll do this one. We'll do the loop one more time here. Where's the? Let's see the car.
The car's right behind the house. It just showed up.
Oh,
okay.
It just showed up.
So wait a minute. First of all,
wasn't there.
First of all, where'd the car come from?
Yeah. No car.
Second, does it really look like
car?
Does that look like a real car?
That's insane.
Is that a house or is that like is that a 12-inch scale model?
What?
Right.
Oh, that does look fake.
Because also the camera didn't move at all either.
You know what it looks like? It looks like the smoke is too big. Watch when it hits. Like the volume, like the size of it, it looks small.
I mean,
you know what I'm saying? I mean, it looks like we're looking at something that's like a few inches tall.
If you watch like Making of Star Wars, any movies before CGI, whenever they do anything like that, it's always with these tiny models.
Yes. Yeah, this looks fake as shit.
Let's get another one. It's like, okay, what the camera's fine.
That's hilarious.
Oh, this is good.
In my head, it's like, dude, the camera could just be zoomed in. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you really look at it, some of them look super zoomed in. So, I don't know. The camera doesn't really, in my opinion, like, say too much. But I would definitely say, like, the car one was definitely suspicious.
Right. I'll tell you what. I had a CIA agent on my podcast a couple of weeks ago, and it was interesting. I said to him, what keeps you up at night? What have you learned through your past 20 years that genuinely keeps you up at night where you're like, I wish I never knew that, and I'm paralyzed with fear because of this secret that the American public doesn't know? He was like, there's a couple
That's a great question.
He said, the thing that I can share with you, this isn't the number one thing, but this is up there. He goes, the thing that I can share with you is our power grid. We can be put back to the Stone Age, like pre-colonial times, within 5 minutes. If our enemy gets at our power grid, he said our power grids are the most vulnerable power grids of any first world nation. People were able to hack them in a second, and you would have upwards of 100 million people in this country alone within 6 months. He was like, because I'm talking about no power, no water supply, nothing. For 6 months, we would not be able to get it up for at least 6 months. He goes, now we're working retroactively to upgrade
Should we
these
be things. Saying this?
Well, he said, it's pretty public knowledge to the powers that be. But he said that is a thing that absolutely we are in jeopardy of. He was like, it's not no one's going to us. No one's going to invade mainland USA. He goes, even like it might happen again, but it's not gonna debilitate you. He's like, we stop this shit all the time. We're really, weapons and all that. We're so far ahead of every other country. It's not even close.
Someone's gonna come flip a light switch and we're fucked.
He said, but that's how they'll get you. There's no reason to have these weapons like this anymore because they can hit our power grid and then we're all and that's what we're vulnerable at, where other countries aren't. He said other countries have taken money and instead of building and tanks, they're upgrading their tech systems that they're impenetrable. So he was like, so that's the thing that keeps me up at night.
Who do you think really runs the world?
You're going to go there, huh, with the question. So I used to ask the question, I said, who's got the most power in America? You'd be amazed how few people say president. Because they come and go. Famous quote with Putin that he says, American presidents, you don't have to worry about it. They're going to be there 4 to 8 years. Some suits run the country behind closed doors. Is it Congress? Is it the CEOs of virtual governments? We're talking Google, Twitter, Facebook, Amazon. Or is it billionaires, the most richest man in the world? Who's got the most power? So let's go process and dissect some of these guys that make all the money in the world. You become a billionaire and you're still dangerously ambitious. And you're like, well, I want more control. I want more power. What if I can take over the world? Think about what things people are most addicted to. Video games, partying. But what's one of the most addicting things? Power. Are you kidding me? Having a lot of power and getting people that look at you that are afraid of you? Some people love that. Those people, I believe, are out there. Some of them are 100% money people because money talks. There's a lot of those guys that are the brains behind the faces that we see. And most of the times, the best E.F. Huttons, no one ever finds out who those guys are.
What is a government cover-up that genuinely scares you? Project Sunshine was started in 1953, and it was created to study the effects of nuclear fallout on the human body. In particular, they were trying to research the radioactive isotope strontium-90, which I probably said that wrong. But this was thought to have the most serious ill effects on the human body, and scientists wanted to study it more. They decided that the best way to study the effects was to study on human bodies, like people who had passed on their bodies. But in particular, they wanted younger children because their bones were more porous and able to take more of this stuff in, from what I understand. But on January 18th of 1955, Dr. Willard Libby said that there was insufficient data because they were not able to get the bodies that they needed. In fact, he was even quoted saying that there was insufficient data and that he didn't know how to get his hands on these bodies. So he said, if anyone knows how to do a good job of body snatching, they will be serving their country. This would lead to over 1,500 samples to be gathered. Only 500 of them were used, but it would later come out that they had got these bodies in some seriously messed up ways. Many of these young bodies were taken from families in Europe and Australia and the United States without their parents' consent. One British mother came forward and said that she had lost her baby during childbirth, and doctors told her that she could not dress her own baby because it turns out that they had removed this baby's legs and shipped them over to the United States to be studied. So she was not able to dress her baby so that she wouldn't find out what they had done. By 1958, the study was brought to Belgium, and this is where they started studying the effects of nuclear fallout in the soil and how the soil would produce plants that cows would then eat and then we would consume, like the meat and the milk that came from this cattle. But regardless, these children were taken from these families without their consent, and this was a huge government cover-up for a long time. So what are your thoughts on this? Let me know down in the comments and follow for more creepy things.
To anyone who's deep in the rabbit hole, bro, buckle up, bro, because this shit is absolutely insane. So, I took some notes here, so I remember what to say. So, in 1893, this guy named Ingersoll Lockwood wrote a 3-part book series, right? The first one is called Travels and Adventures of Little Baron Trump. The second one is called Baron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey. And the third one is called The Last President, all right? In the first book, Little Baron Trump lives in Trump Castle in Germany. And he finds a manuscript by a man named Don Fum that leads to underground tunnels in Russia that have portals to other dimensions, okay? The first 2 books are just about Baron Trump and his dog, like, exploring all these weird dimensions, right? But this is where it really gets weird, bro. In the third book, The Last President, Don Fum uses these portals to become a controversial president who lives on 5th Avenue in New York. And he basically ruins the price of gold and is super controversial and ruins everything. His vice president's name is Pence, bro. That shit is absolutely crazy, but it gets even crazier, bro. Ingersoll Lockwood lived on the exact same street as Nikola Tesla when he wrote this book series. At the very same time that he was living on this street with Nikola Tesla was claiming that he invented time travel. Like, he deadass was saying, I'm about to make freaking time traveling portals and we're about to do it. And a little bit after, he mysteriously dies in a hotel. And all of his blueprints, all of his inventions are in this hotel when he dies. Guess who gets sent, along with the CIA, to pick up his blueprints? John G. Trump. Trump's literal blood uncle, bruh. Think about it, bro. It gets even deeper, though. Wernher von Braun, Nazi scientist, by the way, founder of NASA, wrote a book called Project Mars in 1953 about a man named Elon who takes everyone to Mars. The founder of NASA. And now Trump and Tesla are working together. They got space and time. Think about it, 5th Avenue right by Times Square. I'm telling you, dog, this shit is a simulation, bro.
The man who took the life of Charlie Kirk had his first court appearance today. Here are the full court documents and everything you need to know. Tyler Robinson appeared virtually. He showed little to no emotion or remorse and didn't say anything other than his name.
Could you state your name?
Tyler James Robinson.
Thank you for being here, Mr. Robinson. I'm Judge Graff.
The judge read off the charges, count 1 being aggravated murder, where Tyler James Robinson intentionally or knowingly caused the death of Charlie Kirk under the following circumstances. The defendant knowingly created a great risk of death to another individual other than Charlie Kirk and the defendant. It also highlights that he selected Charlie Kirk because of Tyler James Robinson's belief of perception regarding Charlie Kirk's political expression. It also mentions that the offense was committed in the presence of a child. Count 2 was felony discharge of a firearm causing serious bodily injury. Count 3 and 4 were both obstruction of justice. One was for hiding the weapon and the other one was for changing his clothes. Count 5 and 6 were tampering with a witness, one for directing his roommate to delete text messages and the other for telling his roommate to stay silent if police ask questions. Count 7 was violent offense committed in the presence of a child. They also shared the text messages between him and his roommate, which you can pause and read. Here is part 2 of those text messages. They also said Robinson will be appointed an attorney since he cannot afford his own, and that the state formally files to seek the DP. They also issued a protective order for Charlie's wife to bar Robinson from contacting her. Let me know what you guys think about this, and as anything comes out, I'll keep you guys updated.
Because allegedly, we've had our first communication with the Anunnaki this weekend. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, after the alleged meteorite fell to the ground, a message from the Anunnaki allegedly came through in Alabama, and more specifically Georgia, during a national television broadcast. In this alleged message that lasted for up to 3 minutes, the Anunnaki message claimed to say that they knew about the galactic war that was going on above us in space. They knew about the wars here on Earth. They also knew about the meteorite that fell to the ground, which it wasn't a meteorite. They also claimed that a lot more weird and bizarre and unexpected weather conditions and anomalies would be taking place in the coming months. In this message, the Anunnaki did claim to say that they are here to help. They are not here for any other thing, but they are here to help mankind. Now, have you heard this? And are you perhaps someone who actually saw this message? Now, I have received videos and stories and messages.
A single bullet was fired from a rifle on a 6th floor window. First, it entered JFK's upper back and traveled downward, exiting through his throat. Then it struck the governor in the back, shattering a rib as it tore through his chest. The bullet continued, exiting the governor's chest and hitting his right wrist, breaking a bone. Finally, it lodged itself into the governor's thigh, where it stayed until removed by doctors in almost perfect condition. Now, investigators claimed that this is what happened. A single bullet caused 6 wounds while staying intact. But many argue that the bullet's trajectory is impossible. The angles just don't add up, leaving us wondering if there was actually more than one bullet.
I don't know. I feel like the government definitely admitted to assassinating JFK.
Have you ever found it weird that there's an Egyptian pyramid on the US dollar bill, and on top of that, the Illuminati eye sits right at the top? If you zoom in on the bill, you'll notice a lot of strange things. Devil-like faces, flying saucers, and there's even a hidden phrase written in tiny letters below the pyramid, carrying a terrifying message. It says, Novus Ordo Seclorum, which means New World Order. I bet you don't even know what that really means, yet countless politicians from all nations have already spoken about this New World Order. The truth is, for hundreds of years, a plan has been in motion, put in place by a family you all know, the family considered the most powerful in the world. They control everything around you from the shadows. Apparently, every year, they hold secret meetings with the leaders of each nation to track their progress on the plan, their ultimate goal, to fully dominate all nations, erase all religions, and create a single type of human, one that moves in the same direction, completely submissive to this elite. You need to wake up fast before it's too late.
Strange theories you've never heard of. Guys, some of the topics on this chart are extremely deranged the further down you go. But we'll start off with volcanoes' real purpose. This is the idea that all volcanoes on Earth are just remnants of old power plants, and that human civilization have gone through multiple cycles of great extinction events. And so these power plants have melted down, and that's why they are now just volcanoes. The phone mafia is just the idea that all the scam callers that you get and receive are all part of a a large mafia syndicate that's goal is to steal your information and sell it, which I feel like is closer to the truth than a lot of these other ones. Pancreas denial. This is the theory that the pancreas that you have in your body is more than just a physical organ, but rather your body's third chakra, and that it's responsible for the filtering out of negative energy. However, the government purposefully exposes us to a lot of negative energy to weaken its ability to block bad stuff, and so this leaves the general public vulnerable to the negativity that the pancreas would normally be able to keep away from us. So the pancreas is being denied its normal function. Moon soul catcher. This is just the idea that the moon is a giant soul catcher, and that there was a soul catcher placed on the moon before the age of man by these celestial beings that were benevolent entities that wanted to protect humanity. And so at the end of your life, they catch your soul with this giant catcher and then reincarnate it into a body of a newborn baby. And like, even if you experience like a near-death experience, your soul gets caught by the moon and then returned to your body if it's not beyond repair. Paleolithic deep state. First of all, the deep state is the idea that there are these secret groups of people controlling the entire world with secret agendas. Paleolithic deep state is the idea that there is this group that has existed since ancient prehistoric times, and they are these creatures that have evolved alongside humans to secretly push their agendas despite having complete power over the entire world. Nano UFOs and giga UFOs. This is the idea that UFOs can come in different sizes and forms. For example, there can be microscopic UFOs that can exist in like substances that we eat or even in our bloodstream. But then there's also gigantic UFOs that are supernaturally massive and could exist in things like clouds, or they could be stars, or even like cover up the entire sky of the planet. Phantom time hypothesis. This is a pseudo-historical conspiracy theory that claims that nearly 300 years of our Earth's history was made up. So basically, this theory says that 600 to 900 AD didn't exist, and that the Middle Ages never happened because the medieval elite fabricated those years to justify their ascension to power. And because of this, all the history that we know is false. But there's overwhelming evidence that those time periods happened, but I still think it's a cool theory. Nukes weren't made for humans. So this is the theory that nuclear weapons weren't made for humans, but rather were made to combat or destroy these esoteric or supernatural forces, or even destroy things like cryptids. Along with this theory, people think there are these entities that exist on Earth outside of public knowledge, and that even when we were supposed to be doing testing of our nuclear weapons, they were just examples of these weapons being used to obliterate targets that the public could not be made aware of. Anyways, thank you guys for watching another long video on here.
The micro and giga UFO conspiracy that he was talking about reminded me a lot of the Magic School Bus. Y'all ever watched the Magic School Bus? It could literally be in my bloodstream and I wouldn't even know it because it's just so small. That's what that reminded me of.
Did you know that in 1951, the CIA poisoned an entire French village with LSD just to see what would happen? Gerald Morrison was a CIA operative working on mind control experiments. He chose Pont Saint-Esprit, a quiet village in France, as his testing ground. For 3 weeks, Morrison worked with local baker Henri Chaumette to contaminate the bread supply with LSD-25. 230 villagers ate the poisoned bread. What happened next was pure horror. People jumped from buildings, convinced they could fly. Marie Dubois clawed her own eyes out, screaming about worms crawling inside them. Jean Moreau took kitchen knives and cut up his entire family piece by piece. Mothers drowned their children in wells, believing demons had possessed them. Morrison filmed everything, taking notes on each victim's breakdown. The French government blamed ergot poisoning, covering up the truth. In 1975, Morrison finally confessed to the real experiment. An entire village destroyed for CIA research.
I think that AI is a very ancient technology that we're now discovering. In the book of Ezekiel, especially, the vision of them traveling in these craft that are a wheel within the wheel. And so they had to have made these in a different realm, different whatever. So they have a technology. I think our understanding of technology is just different.
I don't think we could even do the math on what that tech would look like because we are in this universe limited by the dimensions we are.
And we're not meant to understand.
Again, we're going to go full circle back where it talks about the days that it will be like the days of Noah. I think the days of Noah were way more complicated than just people being bad people, right?
Yeah.
I don't think it was just giants, like Nephilim walking around. I think there was this, if you talk about like the Tower of Babel, I believe they truly possessed this heavenly type of technology that could be devastating to humans. It's like the tree of good and evil, right? This is a thing from the heavens that they were probably messing with in the days of Noah because of the fallen angels introducing all these things. And then I think that's getting reintroduced today through potentially AI, quantum computers.
People across America are now getting fired for celebrating Charlie Kirk's death. This includes political analysts, firefighters, military personnel, and even teachers. In fact, in Texas, nearly 200 school staff are under investigation by local authorities for social media comments and could have their licenses suspended. And it doesn't stop there, because Secretary of State Marco Rubio warned foreign nationals in America, saying, if you are here on a visa and cheering the public assassination of a political figure, prepare to be deported. And also yesterday, Vice President J.D. Vance, while hosting an episode of the Charlie Kirk Show, added to the issue, saying, call them out, and hell, call their employers. Some people have even gone as far as putting up a website called Expose Charlie's Murderers, which aims to expose and dox those making insensitive comments towards his murder. And so far, according to a notice on their site, they have already received nearly 30,000 submissions. Now, some say this feels authoritarian and politically motivated, while others say no one has been arrested for celebrating his death, and that people get fired from their jobs all the time for saying stuff on social media. But what do you guys think? Are these fair consequences for someone celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk, or is this going too far?
Alright, well, I feel like doxing them is a little bit extreme, because why are you exposing where someone lives? Like, what are you trying to accomplish? In my head, it sounds like you're trying to either get them very hurt or killed, because there's no need to dox them. Like, you could report them and be like, yo, this user on Instagram keeps blah blah blah, so people could report him or tell their jobs. Like, I get it, but I don't know, the doxing to me just makes it too much. Like, you're doing too much with that. But I definitely don't think people should be out here mocking and cheering because someone died, you know what I'm saying? Because that goes against everything that we really want. We want people to express how they feel, no matter if it's good or bad, without getting absolutely obliterated, you know what I'm saying? Like, obviously you don't want to spread hate, but if someone has a certain opinion, you don't want to just eliminate them because of it.
Morbid facts. 71-year-old George Hodgson Zinn became an unsettling side character in the aftermath of Charlie Kirk's assassination. As Kirk lay bleeding on stage, Zinn, a well-known Utah political agitator with a history of disruptive antics, told bystanders and police that he was the shooter. Officers quickly detained him, sparking confusion as viral footage showed the elderly man being hauled away in cuffs. But Zinn clearly didn't fit the profile. Within hours, investigators announced that he had no connection to the rooftop sniper. Instead, he was charged only with obstruction, echoing a bizarre past that included a 2013 arrest for allegedly emailing a bomb threat joke to the Salt Lake City Marathon.
Yeah, he was actually the initial person that they arrested, and I'm pretty sure he was saying something like he just wanted to deter the cops and everyone away from the actual shooter, although he doesn't even know the actual shooter.
How do you want to see your supporters respond to this? Charlie Kirk, a big advocate of nonviolence and free speech on campus. How do you want your supporters to respond to it?
I think that way. He was an advocate of nonviolence. That's the way I'd like to see people respond. Say it. I did. I spoke to Erica, his wife. We had a long talk, and she's devastated. She's absolutely devastated, as you can imagine.
Disturbing videos that cannot be explained. A police body cam captures lady vanishing out of nowhere.
Hey, how's it going?
I was speeding, wasn't I?
Yeah, and you completely blew past that stop sign in front of me.
I did. I'm so sorry. I literally didn't even see it.
Right.
This is my first time being pulled over.
Alright, can I see your driver's license registration, please?
Yeah.
It's not a big deal.
Here's my license, but this is my mom's car, so...
Where are you headed to where you're speeding and missing stop signs?
I was just headed to a friend's house. It's like literally right there. It's
Okay.
a birthday party. So,
Got it.
Not mine, but
Any drugs or alcohol in the vehicle?
No, of course not.
All right. Sit tight, Sarah. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Your registration is What the?
Sarah?
What the heck? Sarah? 3201 to dispatch. Hi.
I never knew that side of him. He was always so nice to me and respectful. And my whole family. He was always very pleasant, beautifully respectful, never had a problem, but not like he's going to ask Northwoods to go to a white party, is he? So it's like, you know what I'm saying. We different worlds and all of that, but it's it doesn't surprise me. It doesn't say, you know, where there's a lot of power, there's a lot of money, attracts a lot of crowds, and they think that they can do whatever because they've got the power. Doesn't surprise me too much.
Disturbing facts that may ruin your day. Your brain blocks out the feeling of your organs moving around inside of your body at all times. After giving birth, some women can feel their organs sliding back into place as their uterus shrinks. Human babies are helpless at birth compared to other animals because our brains grow so big. We evolved to give birth earlier in our development so that we don't severely hurt the mother while coming out of the birth canal. Your nose is always in your line of sight. Your brain just chooses to ignore it. You could look at any object and your tongue already knows what it feels like to lick it. You could have 2/3 of your liver removed and it would regenerate itself. If your immune system found out that you had eyes, it would attack them and you would go blind. No matter how hard you strain, you're only using about 60% of your full strength. If your brain didn't stop you, you could tear your muscles and break your bones just trying to throw a ball as hard as you can. When you hear about mothers lifting cars, this is thought to be the fight or flight adrenaline temporarily overriding that limit. If you have surgery and they have to take out your intestines, they put them in a bowl next to them while they work. Your intestines wiggle around in the bowl like snakes the whole time.
For all the mothers watching this video right now, if you ever gave birth, did you actually feel your intestines move when you delivered the baby? If so, let me know how that felt.
What would you do if you woke up one morning and everyone looked like this? This is a terrifying reality for 59-year-old Victor Shara from Clarksville, Tennessee. He woke up one morning in November of 2020 and thought that he was living in some kind of demonic world. These facial distortions that Victor sees are caused by a very rare neurological disorder called prosopommetamorphosis. Otherwise known as PMO. These images are actually a very accurate representation of what Victor was experiencing. Because he couldn't see the distortions through screens or through photos, researchers had him in real time compare a face to a photo of the same person, and then the researchers edited the photo until it matched what Victor was seeing in person. Reportedly, there are less than 100 cases of PMO, and it's not really known exactly what causes the disorder, but it's known to be a malfunction in the part of our brains that processes faces. In Victor's case, possible triggers are recent carbon monoxide poisoning, a head injury that he suffered 15 years before his symptoms arose, and his history of bipolar affective disorder and PTSD. PMO is often misdiagnosed as schizophrenia or psychosis, even though the patient is aware that the visuals that they're seeing are not in fact reality. The craziest part is that Victor still experiences these distortions. He still sees people like this in his day-to-day life, even years later. He finds that it helps to live with his roommate and her 2 children so that it makes seeing new people not so alarming. And strangely, Victor has actually found relief through wearing green-tinted glasses.
Dude, back in the 1950s, if someone woke up and saw that, they would blame like the nearest woman they saw and say, she's a witch.
Tyler James Robinson.
Polling case 251-403-576. State of Utah versus Tyler James Robinson. Could you state your name?
Tyler James Robinson.
So, Mr. Robinson, you have a right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one, the court can appoint an attorney to represent you under Rule 8B and Rule 8C for a counsel appointment in a case where death may be a sentencing option. I'm ordering that those declarations be filed prior to the next hearing date, which is set for September 29th at 10 a.m. Mr. Robinson, I also wish to inform you of your rights against self-incrimination. Anything that you say in court today could be used against you, and we want to protect your constitutional rights. Mr. Robinson, at this time, you will remain in custody without bail.
This is by far the most disturbing video I've ever seen from the Ace family. So this is a screenshot from the video, and I just saw it today because it went viral earlier this month after someone reposted it to TikTok. Now let me just describe to you what happens in this video. Basically, Austin of the Ace family looks at his daughter's, there. He then hits it in a very, very inappropriate way and says "gat" after hitting it. Now his wife Catherine starts talking to change the subject after this happens, seemingly to cover up what Austin did, but Austin was not done yet. You see, what Austin does next in the video is he puts his hand on his daughter's, and his daughter pushes his hand away, and she does it in a way that kind of seems like she's uncomfortable with him putting his hand there. Now I'll tag the person who posted this so you can see it for yourself if you want to. But this isn't the first time that Austin has had odd behavior with girls who are not of age like this. Because just a few years ago, Austin was called out for giving his niece, who is like this age, that is shaped like male parts. And he was just laughing at this, thinking it was the funniest thing ever. There are also many other inappropriate things that Austin has done, but we would be here all day if I were to get into that.
Most disturbing videos in the world, episode 2. This picture contains a list of disturbing videos from least scary to the most. This will be my scariest series ever. Alright, welcome to tier 2. Today we're going to be taking a look at a couple of videos. The first one is Japanese Ghost, the Haunted Hospital. A young Japanese reporter goes inside of a hospital to take some pictures. Just take a look. The second video is the Japanese tire commercial. If you haven't seen this before, don't say anything and just send this to a friend. The company known as Autoway created a commercial to scare you into getting some new winter tires. Eventually this commercial was banned, but take a look. This was tier 2, but make sure you check out my YouTube channel.
Dude, that is one way to sell tires.
Alcohol or marijuana? Which is worse? Well, when it comes to domestic violence, alcohol is way worse. I used to be the head of the domestic violence unit at Fort Irwin when I was in the Army, and alcohol can really unleash people's fury. I don't see that so much with marijuana, but quite frankly, neither of them are good for you. If you need to calm your mind, learn to meditate, do diaphragmatic breathing, or GABA calming, or theanine, or magnesium. Alcohol has been associated with 8 different cancers, any alcohol use. And people who smoke marijuana have a dramatically increased risk of having a heart attack before they're 50. So I'm not a fan of either.
That's such a debated topic going around right now on TikTok. What do you guys think? Do you guys think alcohol is worse than cannabis? Let me know down in the comments.
Hey there. Hello. How are you?
All right.
Just all right?
Yeah.
Okay. Should you drive license? There's your wallet right there between your legs.
Sorry, I was a little bit nervous.
So was I. The way you're driving?
Huh?
I said, you mentioned that you were nervous? Right. I was nervous while I was behind you driving down I-40. Northbound 25? You took that curve way too fast.
I did. I'm sorry.
I thought you were going to crash.
No, I don't know.
I didn't say. I don't think so. I'm just saying I thought you were going to crash. Okay, and then you have a bunch of kids in the car. How many kids? You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Who are these kids to you?
This is my friend.
That's your friend?
Yeah.
How old is your friend?
18.
That girl's not 18? That girl's not 18?
Yeah.
No, she's not.
No, she is.
That girl's not 18. Trust me. She don't look 18. Ma'am, how old are you? I didn't ask you your name. I asked you how old you were. Jeremy, turn the car off and come back here and talk to me.
All right.
Let me see the keys. Thank you. Come on out. Why's your zipper, your buttons down in your crotch?
Well, I probably just forgot.
Okay. Come back here. Come back here with me, Jeremy. Sit right here.
I'll button my zipper.
Yeah, please button your zipper.
Yeah. I mean, I had to take like a piss and.
Good?
I'm good.
Okay. Jeremy, how much you had to drink tonight?
I haven't had anything to drink.
I know I haven't been drinking. So how much have you been drinking? Based on your driving, you're driving like a total idiot. How much you had to drink?
I messed up.
Gotcha.
And I did. Because. But I haven't been drinking.
Can you explain why I can smell from your breath every time you breathe? And talk to me?
What was that? I haven't had anything to drink.
When did you last drink?
Like, probably, it's been a little while.
Like, an hour?
I would say it's more than
like maybe 2?
Yeah.
Roughly? Okay.
Like 2 hours.
That's fair. Because you know what? 2 hours is totally different than, no, I haven't been drinking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I mean, it's okay. That's okay. We're not gonna argue about it. I mean, I know what I smell. I know what I hear. I know what I see. Okay. Simple as that. Do you think you're safe to drive?
Yeah.
You do?
Absolutely.
Once again, you and I will disagree on that too. I don't think you're safe to drive. All those people in the car, who are they?
They're just my friends. I mean...
Do you normally hang out with people who are young?
Yeah, that dude definitely knew what he was doing. That was kind of a weird situation, and he was definitely drunk.
Do you guys remember this video I posted earlier today?
Pero por ahora no. Por ahora.
Yeah, well, that was unsettling, wasn't it? That was about 5 days ago. Yeah, this is what it looks like now.
Vamos a pensar que esto nació de un meteorito.
This thing is so unsettling that, from what I understand, this kid who found it, it only stops moving when it's in complete darkness. So he puts it in this freaking safe. He puts it in this safe, and it's in this building far away. I think. I don't quite know what he's saying. I don't speak his language, but he puts it in this building far away, and it's still moving. People have suggested it's probably a fungus or something terrestrial. I don't give a shit what it is. It's freaking terrifying.
It's the cartel.
Yeah.
A fence at the end means no way out, or does it?
Tunggu kita kat atas. Jalan. Kau bawa pelan lagi. Kau jalan je lah. Tengah tak kau. Kau jalan sekarang. Wait. Kejap. Wait. Kau.
What the fuck, dude? What the fuck? What's going on? Can I help you with something?
Yes.
That was one of the worst attempted robberies I've ever seen. Like, doesn't he know that people could easily drive around that cone? I'm kind of happy he's a little bit stupid to not think that, because it just makes an easy escape.
In July of 2007, WJLA, a TV station in Washington, D.C., was abruptly interrupted from its regular programming. Everything was going as usual, when all of a sudden the screen went black, and without warning, this image appeared on viewers' TVs. A close-up, grainy, black and white photo of two human heads, one smiling, one not. Viewers watching live were confused and honestly creeped out. The image was unsettling, to say the least. It stayed on screen for several seconds with no movement and no sound, just the image, before abruptly disappearing and returning to the station's regular programming. Many viewers called the station and made posts online trying to get answers. In response, the cable company ended up releasing an official statement on the incident. They claimed the image was a still frame from an advertisement for the Oprah Winfrey show that was scheduled to play later on. Basically, they reasoned that their system somehow glitched in showing the still frame. This explanation left people skeptical. Many searched but found no Oprah Winfrey advertisement showing anything resembling the still frame. It's widely believed the explanation was a cover-up for a successful hijacking of the station. Although, if this is the case, whoever's responsible for it is not identified. Viewers that had footage of the incident found that after posting them online, they were mysteriously getting taken down. There are no surviving videos left on the internet today, and so footage of the incident is now being treated as lost media. The only remaining evidence is this picture of the still frame that was shown. It's January 3rd, 2007. The Australian broadcast channel Channel 7 is broadcasting a rerun of an episode of the Canadian television documentary Mayday. At one point during the documentary, the audio suddenly cuts out and is eerily replaced with constant looping of a man yelling the words, "Jesus Christ, help us all, Lord." The visuals remain unchanged, it was only the audio that was affected. One viewer witnessing this pulled out his camera and began recording the strange audio. This would go on for over 5 minutes before returning back to the documentary's original sound. The viewer wrote, "I was channel surfing and heard this weird sound being repeated. It caught my attention as it was very odd, a bit creepy. I thought it was some kind of subliminal message, or that someone must have hacked in. I tried ringing the station for several minutes, but they never picked up." After gathering enough attention, a spokesperson for the network would make a statement. He denied the transmission being a prank or security breach, and actually claimed that the repeated line was a part of the original broadcast. He further stated that the audio actually said, "Jesus Christ, one of the Nazarenes." However, there's almost no similarity between the two phrases. People took this statement almost as a joke, considering how absurd it was. It's believed the station's audio was temporarily hijacked, and the network didn't want to admit to it. A few independent researchers began an investigation on where the original audio came from, and surprisingly, it was actually found. It turns out the audio came from the haunting video of Preston Wheeler reacting to an ambush on his convoy in Iraq.
Jesus Christ, help us all, Lord.
This attack occurred after the convoy had made a wrong turn down a dead-end street, though Preston was fortunate enough to make it out alive. The finding of this video seemed to raise only more questions, like the reason behind why the hijacker chose to use this audio. No further information would ever be discovered. The whole situation kinda just slowly died down with no real answers. The hijacker responsible was never identified.
These are videos humans were never meant to see. The video that I'm about to show you is extremely disturbing. This is Kevin Cosgrove's phone call from the 105th floor of the World Trade Center 2. He was trapped on his floor after the World Trade Center got hit by an airplane. You can hear him getting more and more annoyed and frustrated with the dispatcher throughout these few minutes, and it unfortunately ends abruptly when the tower begins to collapse. You hear his last moments of life as he says he's too young to die. This really puts into perspective how scary and terrible 9/11 was. May all the victims rest in peace, and here's the audio clip.
So you can conserve your oxygen, okay? Try to put God to blow you in from the list. It's really bad. It's black. It's iron. Does anybody else want to try in here? We're young men. We're not ready to die. I'm kidding. How the hell are you going to get my ass down? I need oxygen. They have a lot of apparatus on the You guys didn't feel like it, lady. You get them in from all over. Get them in from Jersey. I don't give a shit Ohio. Mine's Cosgrove. I must have called about a dozen times already. Cosgrove. Yeah, my wife thinks I'm all right. I called her and said I was leaving the building. I was fine, and bang. Well, I want to go down. Yeah. Cherry. Dead Cherry. You know that, yeah? Dead Cherry's next to me. 105. Who's office? John Astro's office. That's where you go. That's the office. We're in John Astro's office. OST. A-R-U. A-R-U. Right, that's the office we're at. There's three of us in here. OST, A-R-U. OST, A-R-U. Hello? Hello? We're looking at financial center. Three of us, two broken windows.
Message number 100.
Dude, just imagine what he went through. Oh, that was so tragic, dude. 9/11 was such a tragic time.
This video has a disturbing backstory.
This video right here is easily one of the more shocking videos that I've watched in the past week. This video right here went super viral not too long ago, and it was taken from a surveillance camera. It shows a 7-year-old girl, a 4-year-old boy, and 2 wells right here. The full video is a couple minutes long, and I can't show the full thing, but this 7-year-old girl right here ends up coaxing the 4-year-old boy and bringing him closer to the well. And I can't show this part, but she ends up picking up the 4-year-old, placing him inside of the well, and forcing him to go down. The well that she dropped him in was also quite large, at around 5 meters deep, which is a little over 16 feet, and had 2 meters of water in it at the time, which is a little over 6 feet. For around 10 minutes, this boy was inside of the well, but fortunately villagers ended up hearing his cries for help and came and rescued him. At this point, you're wondering what compelled this 7-year-old to do this. And the reason that she gave was quite simple, saying that she was trying to replicate a scene that she saw in a television drama. There really isn't any moral to this story, but fortunately the kid survived, and this maybe just goes to show how impressionable kids are.
Oh, tiptoe through the window, by the window, that is where I'll be. Come tiptoe through the tulips with me.
This video is believed to be the scariest video on the internet right now. I'm gonna play the video for you and then I'll give you some context. Nothing seems out of the ordinary, right? Wrong. All 3 of these girls are in the car, they're eating together, and they're waiting to meet up with another friend. The 2 girls in the front seat are texting the other friend. The other friend who is not in the car is telling them that she's about to meet up with them, but she's bringing the girl who's in the back seat. They're going back and forth with their other friend who's not in the car about how they have the girl who's in the back seat with them, but the friend who isn't there says she's with her. So now everybody's freaked out because who the heck is the girl in the back seat? The girl who's not in the car is wondering who she's with. Is this something ghostly, something paranormal, a glitch in the Matrix? We don't know. And I don't think we're ever going to get the answer.
Well, realistically, if I'm not mistaken, it looks like a skit. I don't really think that's real. But if that is a true story, then that's insane. But I'm pretty sure it was just a skit. Yo, did that cat just disappear?
Man, so the baby facing backlash right now for his new song he just released. He released a music video dedicated to a stabbing victim named Irina that passed away. He reacted the whole incident in the music video and a lot of people don't like it. Somebody said using a dead person for clout is ghetto. I just actually watched the video before I made this. I'm gonna be all the way honest, bro. I feel like people just gotta be real. Y'all don't like dude and there ain't nothing wrong with it. I feel like every rapper then did the same thing he did. Most rappers then dedicated a song to somebody that passed away. You can really say the same thing for them too, that they using that person for clout. The baby just gotta understand that he not liked. His career might be over because the people ain't fucking with him right now. They already tried to cancel him before and it look like they trying to do it again. I will say this though, he did shed light on the situation because I didn't even know this happened. When I actually seen a real video, I was hurt for her and her family. Nobody deserved to go out like that, especially from a random man you don't even know. If the baby is doing this for the wrong reasons, it ain't right. I don't know his heart though, so I can't say what he doing it for. Rest in peace to that woman though, man. Facts.
David had a matching tattoo of the body found in his car. This is a brand new breaking news update. So the identity of the body that was found in this car was revealed to be a 15-year-old girl that went missing around last year. These are all updates according to TMZ, but I'm gonna read the article to you. So David, real name David Anthony Burke, has a tattoo that matches the one on the finger of the dead, dismembered 15-year-old girl that was discovered in the trunk of the singer's car, according to TMZ. The Los Angeles County medical examiner identified the body as a 15-year-old Celeste Rivas, who was reported missing in April of last year. She was last seen in Lake Elsinore, CA. The tattoo reportedly reads, "Shh," according to the TMZ. Both romantic homicide singer and the 15-year-old got the ink on their right index fingers. Outlet spoke to Rivas' mothers, who said that their daughter was dating someone named David. Bro, what the Rivas reportedly went missing from Lake Elsinore, California in April 2024. Celeste's mom told TMZ that she was suspicious that the body found in David's vehicle was her daughter's because Celeste had allegedly had her boyfriend's name was David. TMZ also notes that the tattoo on David's finger had only been visible in photos of him since September 2024. Before that, he doesn't appear to have the tattoo. David has yet to comment on the latest update. A member of his team has already confirmed that he has been cooperating with authorities. David has been informed about what happened, and although he's still out on tour, he's fully cooperating with authorities. Bro, oh my gosh, this holy fuck, this is the tattoo on his finger, bro. He's got the tattoo. Like, hold up, I know everybody was thinking this was like a conspiracy at first, but okay, he might have actually did it, guys. He might have actually did it. Holy crap, this is huge. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. My name is AT. Follow for more updates because I cover breaking news on the internet. If there's anything you want me to cover, tag me in them. Drop a like for more. But oh my gosh, let me know what y'all think. This is insane.
Yeah, I've actually seen that story about that dude. I never really knew him before this situation, but apparently they found a dead body of not even an infant, of a child inside his car. And apparently he's around 20 years old, and this girl is like 15, I think. I'm gonna let you know if anything more comes out about that situation.
Good morning. Yeah, this was an exhaustive investigation. The Journal finding at least one flight attendant who says she was diagnosed with a traumatic brain injury because of toxic fumes. This morning, a new Wall Street Journal investigation says across airlines, the rate of flights with toxic fumes is accelerating, spiking in 2017, driven in large part by leaks on a particular Airbus jet, the A320.
That kind of raised that question. Well, what changed in 2017?
According to the Journal's review of internal documents, Airbus loosened maintenance rules following suspected fume events.
An aircraft would have an event, the issue wouldn't be dealt with and then be sent back into the skies regardless.
In a statement to ABC News, Airbus says its aircraft are designed and manufactured according to all relevant and applicable airworthiness requirements. The Journal says a neurologist has treated about a dozen pilots and more than 100 flight attendants for what has been described as brain injuries after alleged exposure to fumes on planes over the last 20 years.
Our union has been concerned about this for decades, and we've been concerned about it because of the very real life consequences that crew members have faced.
On most planes, air is pulled in from the outside through engines. So if any seals are worn or degraded, oils from lubricated bearings enter the air and vaporize heat, releasing unknown quantities of toxic compounds, according to the Wall Street Journal report. But not all smells or vapors are toxic. The FAA telling us they are rare. Quote, studies have shown cabin air is as good as or better than the air found in offices and homes, adding that airlines are required to report such fume events to them. Now, the airlines we spoke with say smoke, fumes, and odor events are exceedingly rare and that they take each one seriously. But clearly, as the Journal found here, there are real concerns here.
We were talking about how sometimes when we're on a flight and you see it and you're told it's something else, and now you're wondering what exactly.
And now you're wondering, and that's the problem. We're left to wonder.
Guys, TikTok in the US could actually be saved, but the deadline is now officially only days away, and Trump just dropped news about it this morning. So this is the current situation. There's obviously a law that says that TikTok needs to cut ties with China or get banned in the US. The final deadline for this is officially September the 17th, so that's now 2 days away. Up until now, it looked like TikTok was about to be wiped off of every single American phone, but then Trump posted about it on Truth Social this morning. He said this morning in the post that, quote, a deal was reached to save a certain company that young people really really wanted, and obviously we know what he's talking about. So according to US officials, a framework agreement was actually hammered out in Europe between America and China, and the Treasury Secretary even confirmed that the commercial terms are basically locked in. Nobody knows who the buyer is. Post rumors included Oracle and obviously other big investor groups, but this deal is completely new and still under wraps. By the way, even with all of this being said, China has still not officially confirmed any of this yet, so technically the whole thing could fall apart. Trump said himself that he will be speaking directly to President Xi on Friday, and that call might literally decide whether TikTok survives in America or not. Friday could quite literally be the make it or break it for TikTok, so if you want to stay updated, make sure you go ahead and add me now, and also go to my other platform.
Yeah, so the deadline for TikTok is coming up. It feels like every 6 months to a year there's always this talk about TikTok getting banned, but apparently there was a deal made, and there was no details that were given, so we're not even too sure what's gonna happen. Maybe we could see a complete different version of TikTok. Who knows?
Oh, scientists have made new discoveries in regards to people being able to hear other people's thoughts? Tell me more. Yeah, scientists have been making new discoveries about people being able to hear other people's thoughts. They believe that everyone was supposed to be able to have the ability to hear people's thoughts, but somewhere along the way, it dissipated, whether it was food or other chemicals or things of that nature that have blocked a part of the brain that would allow us to hear other people's thoughts without even speaking to them. Oh, goody. A lot of people can still do this today, most of which do have autism, and they're able to hear their parents' thoughts and other people's thoughts without them even speaking to them. So scientists are working on a way to actually get people to have this ability back, being able to turn this part of the brain back on and being able to listen to people without them speaking. Now, wouldn't that be so much fun?
Honestly, there was a part of me that was questioning the validity in what he just said, because he pretty much said that there's a part of our brain that's apparently shut down. And I remember this story that one of my friends told me. He said some of his friends were tripping on acid and they could hear each other's thoughts. Like, they could literally talk to each other from like the room, and they tested it and it was true. I was like, yo, what the hell?
So y'all really thought Cardi was out here playing with y'all, right? Because when I showed y'all she was in New York on the corner selling her CDs, y'all went crazy. Oh, she's just doing it for publicity stunt. So why is she on a train right now still trying to sell her CDs? And look at what her caption says. It says 7 more days until I find out that I lose my home. So she's literally out here hustling, trying to sell her CDs to any and everybody, because the age of trash music is over. We don't want to listen to this stuff anymore, y'all.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, everybody. I'm out here trying to sell these CDs. I'm trying to change my life around. I used to be a professional ballerina, but trying to make a better example for my kids. If you could please buy my new album, Am I the Drama? Am I the Drama? 9.
And I guess this works now, because I guess the label is not pushing out her music anymore, so she's taking it to the streets, and people are really buying it because people know Cardi. And what's ironic is that Cardi said that she does not let her...
Did that woman really just give Cardi B money? Bro, this is literally prime example of why the rich get richer. She's on the train. Cardi B is a millionaire in a mansion. Why are you giving her money? And she just took it, no question. She just said, yeah, that's crazy.
Her children listen to her music, but why is she on the train on the corner selling her CDs to people like us? And you can tell she does not want to be out here doing this either.
Get me out of here.
See, she does not want to be here doing this. She doesn't want to be up in the subways with the rat selling her CDs for $9.99. You flip that, you get $666. So could this possibly be a humiliation ritual? Possibly. You guys know how the music industry is, but nonetheless, she's not going home until she sells her CDs. But the shift is here and everybody is feeling the squeeze. Let me know what you guys think about this video. Like, follow, and share for more videos like this. Let's continue to get it.
Dude, sometimes I feel like the whole content creation game, or even just like creating music, could be a humiliation ritual. I have some boys in the city, they be doing anything for views, dude. There's this one dude that I know. I mean, I don't know him personally, but I see his videos. He's a grown man literally twerking for views. Like, I feel like the whole game sometimes is just a humiliation ritual. And it's funny because the people that really do humiliate themselves to the max, like that, they really do end up blowing up because it just garners so much attention.
Wound coming into his neck right around where I'm indicating, and he tips backwards right after he's shot, and he brings his arms up, but actually when he's bringing his arms up, he is exhibiting what we call decorticate posturing, which means his spinal cord has been severed from his brain and it's no longer communicating with the rest of his body. So he was instantly rendered a quadriplegic. So that movement you see is actually just a reflexive movement by his nervous system trying to figure out what's going on. Then you see him tipping to the side and blood start gushing out of his wound on his neck, which to me means it's an artery that's hit, more likely than not, the carotid artery and the jugular vein. So he's hemorrhaging heavily out the side of his neck as he's falling to the ground. Now, this spinal cord being severed at this level could be below C5, C6, so he could still be breathing and still be alive for a period of time, which he was when he was rushed to the hospital and died. But the damage that was done was so severe, even if he had survived, he probably would have had a stroke and he would have been a quadriplegic.
What's that? Oh, scientists have discovered that black holes are singing a detectable tune? What do you mean? Scientists have been looking into black holes and they've noticed with some of the technology they're using that it's coming off with a sound wave that sounds kind of like a ringing bell in a sense, but it's an actual tune they've been able to decipher using AI, and it's actually sending messages out to other beings. The scientists said that a black hole they've been studying specifically is sending out these sound waves, and that what the AI detected and gathered from what it's trying to send out to us in a form of somewhat like Morse code is saying, Earth is a fake realm. You're living fake lives, and you're living the same lives over and over on repeat. What? Let's just hope that the AI got this wrong on this one. Okay.
That means Interstellar, the movie. I don't know if you guys have ever seen Interstellar, the movie, one of the greatest movies of all time. If that's true, then Interstellar is 100% a documentary then.
If he truly died this way, then he died in one of the worst deaths imaginable. Viewer discretion is advised. Pictured here was 23-year-old Duncan McPherson. He was born in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, Canada. He had dreams of becoming an NHL player. He was actually a first-round pick of the New York Islanders, but because of several injuries, he never actually made it to the NHL. In August of 1989, he would travel to the Stubai Alps, which is in Austria. He was actually intending to go to Scotland, but he passed through here on his way. He was expected to make it to Scotland on August 12th, but he never arrived. 6 weeks later, the car that he borrowed from a friend was found at the Stubai ski resort. So they spoke to the people at the resort and they said that in fact was there. To them it appeared that he was going to do some snowboarding before he continued his trip. But nobody knew where he was. He just vanished. So he was reported missing. And he would be missing for 14 years. In 2003, some people nearby saw a glove sticking out of a melting glacier. In the middle of that glacier, McPherson's remains. I can't show those images because, you know, TikTok. His arms had both been amputated. So were both his hands and both his legs. His body was quite literally in pieces. Now, apparently there is some science behind the fact that if a body is inside of like a glacier like this, I guess a body can separate. But based on the actual bones and where the injuries and fractures were, and this is also his snowboard that was found inside the glacier with him. And you can see that it has some severe like cutting on it. This is another image where you can see the damage to the snowboard. They also found his wallet, which in there they found cards with particular damage. It looked like the teeth of a tiller on a snow tilling machine. So these teeth right there. The machine that in question also has this on it. Very large machine with a lot of machinery and very large metal claw things. When experts looked at his bones, they determined that there was no way that his body had separated through the natural process of like it being stuck in the glacier like that. They said his bones were separated, could only be explained by machinery. So this is what they think happened. This is an image from the mountain he would have been snowboarding on. This is the tilling machine they would have used. They believe that Dustin somehow got injured on that mountain. They believe it was very foggy, and as he was lying on the ground waiting for help, the tilling machine ran over his body, tearing him to pieces. They said it would have peeled the skin off of his bones. It would have ripped his limbs off. These parts right here would have absolutely annihilated his body. Not only would he be crushed to death, but he's also dealing with the agony of having his skin peeled off of his body, his limbs being torn off. Now, one could only hope that if this was how he died, that he didn't experience it for too long.
Didn't I tell y'all when y'all see this face that I'm about to drop a truth bomb on you? Y'all, somebody set him up and his crew. This clip has gone viral. I know y'all seen it, where he escaped an alleged black magic ritual. Like, what? I keep telling y'all we live in a spiritual war. Ephesians 6:12. I Show Speed was like, nah, I see what's going on. I ain't having it.
Hi.
Hey.
How are you? I'm Zoe.
Hey, Zoe. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. We are going to give you a blessing on this story.
That's what I need.
Zoe, bring
Can I take your shoes off?
Hey.
Hello.
Hey.
Mama Donna.
Hey, Mama.
I'm not a handshaker. Bring it in, baby.
Yes.
You've been having a day. Good day.
Yes.
Welcome. Now is the time to have a little booster.
Yes.
Just relax a little bit with me, and you're going to get a chakra reading.
Yes.
A balancing and a blessing. So you continue on this important journey. You're doing big things. You're doing big things, right?
I am.
So let's just get in alignment and send you off in a good way.
Let's do it.
All right?
Let's go.
Are sitting here. Right here. All right, so Speed.
Yes.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
How you doing?
Doing absolutely beautiful.
Right on. So I am a Reiki master and a life doula, intuitive, and we're going to get your chakras balanced. So this is a special reading that I do where all you need to do, well, the first thing is just be open.
Be open.
I know we got a lot of people out there, peace, out there watching in this journey, and I know the messages that are going to be coming through for you are universal. Right? How do we stay calm? You're doing something really special and different. Hasn't been done before. Right?
Yes.
You have a beautiful platform. You have a lot of people looking at you. Absolutely. I'm going to admit that I did not know who you were.
It's okay.
Yeah, it is even better. But I love, from the little bit that I saw, because I try not to look too much, I love how you spread joy.
Thank you.
And that is something that's very, very important in the world that's going on today with the wars, the politics, and everything, that you're out here spreading joy.
Yeah.
You have a mission probably bigger than you know. As you grow and mature, you will know even more.
Yes.
So what I like to do, and I want you to get comfortable here. We're at the beautiful home of my dear friend Amanda, who's another amazing healer. She was wonderful enough to let us use her space here so we can get this done quickly. So here, I have a few things special. I work with crystals, and I work with a particular type of crystal, which is this one called the Andara. Actually, I'm going to give you a little one to hold. They come from very few regions of the world. These here are particularly from California, but I have also some from the motherland, from the Congo. And with these crystals, they do a lot of work for me and for you. The only thing you have to do is just to be open and say yes.
Okay.
And as we work together, as we co-create this experience, they will do the work that needs to be done on you. You just have to say yes.
All right.
Because we have free will.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
Have you ever had a reading before?
Yes. No, I haven't.
They gave you a surprise today, right?
Yeah, I'm kind of scared.
Do I look scary?
No, it's just like.
Okay, so that's the first.
Wait. I wasn't completely honest.
Okay. Talk to me.
You don't look scary, but nah, you kind of do.
Okay.
But not in a mean way.
Okay.
It's just
Is it intimidating?
a little bit.
Oh, it's okay.
Nah, you know, like your face doesn't look scary.
Right.
It's just like, nah, it's not. I wouldn't say scary. I'm kind of wearing this wrong.
That's okay.
I'm kind of wearing this wrong.
As they come, I don't take any offense. Oh, where's the camera? Take any offense.
Yeah.
Now.
Run.
I understand why they're having you do this. And from what the little bit I saw today, I thought it's a good time to do it, right? So what you're gonna do, the only thing you have to do is pick a crystal, because each crystal here is related to a chakra. Do you know what the chakras are?
Yeah, like Naruto. Like your chakra, like Naruto.
The chakra. So chakra is the Sanskrit word for wheel. So we have these energetic wheels throughout our body. We have ones that walk with us, from the above that connects us to the cosmos. And then we also have ones below us that connect us to the earth. And then we have crown. This is what connects us to the divinity. We have the third eye. It's the truth, how we see it. All right? So when we have a third eye open, we're seeing the truth of the situations. When you hear, they say it is what it is, that's the third eye. Not what we want it to be, not what we're conditioned, right? Then we have the throat, it's our expression. How do you express yourself? And the best we can do in this evolution of life is be the most authentic.
Wait, where's mine?
Which is?
God damn it. Wait, I need this thing for my string. Hold on, I'll be right back, okay? I'll be right back. God damn, I left it out there. Yo, Henry. Henry, come here. I think I forgot my shit. It's at the... Hold on. Where my shit at? Hold on. Mute.
He about to clear it. He see what's happening. Smart man, if you ask me. You see it, right?
Well, we have to get back to this later. I got something else to do.
I cannot believe a doctor actually did this. A 44-year-old anaesthetist in Manchester was caught leaving his patient in the middle of an operation to go have sex with a nurse in another room. Bro really said he needed a comfort break. Those are the words he used when he asked a nurse to monitor his patient so he could leave. The patient had to be put to sleep for a gallbladder removal, which is a pretty serious operation. But as he and this anonymous nurse were having their comfort break in a nearby operating theater, yet another nurse walked in on them in a quote, compromising position. And when Dr. Comfort Break returned 8 minutes later to complete the surgery, thankfully the patient made it out fine. But to make this situation even worse, bro was a married man, because of course he was.
Now, as many of you may know, Charlie Kirk, a very popular political commentator, was a few days back. Police suspect the man who did it was a dude named Tyler Robinson, and they suspect this because the evidence against Tyler is pretty damn. But first things first, Charlie Kirk, when I say popular political commentator, I mean very popular. A lot of people consider him one of the reasons Donald Trump got elected. But to get to the top of the political commentary space, most of the time you have to be very divisive, which Charlie Kirk was. Now, I'm not going to get into the reasons of why Charlie Kirk was divisive or the things he said, because there's better videos that do that. But let's just say he pissed a lot of people off. One of those people being Tyler Robinson. How do I know that? Well, he said it himself. He said, yeah, Charlie Kirk pisses me off. He said this to a family member. He also mentioned the fact that he knew where Charlie Kirk was going to be the day he got the University of Utah, where Charlie Kirk was indeed by a rifle. Now that's important because if you have a rifle, that means you're probably not super up close to somebody. You're probably really far. So police look through surveillance footage and they see video of a man on a roof. Now I know what you're thinking. I can't tell if that's even a man or not. And you're right, so police said switch the camera. They got another angle. A man running on a roof, but where's he going though? Switch the angle. Hops off the roof, running towards the far side of campus. Switch the angle. And there she blows. The man from the video gets close enough to a camera to where they see his face. And well, the man looks like who they know to be Tyler Robinson. Tyler Robinson's family member said, is that Tyler Robinson? They go to Tyler Robinson. He says, well, in their words, he basically alluded to the fact that he did it. So the family calls a friend, the friend comes over, they all bring him to the station. Police look at Tyler, they look at the picture, they say, all right, put your hands behind your back, give us your phone, let's see what you was texting. According to police, on Tyler's phone, he was texting a roommate saying, yo, I hid the rifle in a forest, go pick it up for me. They found a rifle in the forest. They also found a Discord message of him looking for a rifle. It's just not a good look. Now, as for why Tyler did it, not much is known, but it's suspected to be political. Because on one of Tyler's bullet casings, it read, hey fascist, exclamation mark, catch this, exclamation mark, which is a wild thing to write on a bullet. Now, Tyler also seemed very into meme culture because his other bullets read some wild things, one of them being,
If you're reading this, you're gay. LMAO. Another red notices bulge. Ooh, what's this? Another red Bella Chow. Who's Bella Chow? Somebody clear up who Bella Chow is for me. But he's writing this on bullets. Now, all that being said, I think one of the worst parts of this whole fiasco is the press conference afterwards, where the police and the FBI pull up and they just start flexing. Like, they're just like, oh yeah, shout out Charlie Kirk. But anyway, we went crazy on this investigation. Like, we did a really, really good job. They're saying how great the federal and the state governments are connected. They're shouting out Donald Trump. They're making it very political. When this whole thing started for that very same reason, it's like perpetuating the cycle.
So I have an Italian friend, and he pretty much told me, like, this was before the shooting. This was like 2 summers ago. I'm pretty sure the summer of 2024. So yeah, actually just last year. We were on our morning jog together, and I was like, yo, what does Bella Chow mean? And he was telling me it just means like he was saying bye to the girl, like bye girl, bye girl, bye girl. And it's actually supposed to be like a revolutionary song.
So this middle-aged dad is about to have an online affair with an 18-year-old girl. So the dad's name is Thomas, and Thomas is 46 when this story starts, living in New York. And Thomas, he's a regular guy. He works in a factory, he's married, has 2 kids. But Thomas also has a problem. He's really bored with this regular life he lives. Not only that, he's having problems in his marriage because he can no longer get a Woody. So I'm just saying, he's not doing well. But one day in 2005, all that changes because one of his co-workers at the factory, this guy, Brian is like, hey, there's this website where me and some of the other guys from work play poker together. You should come play with us. And Thomas is like, all right. So he starts playing online poker with his co-workers and other people in a little game room, I guess you'd call it. And in that room, he ends up meeting this girl, Jessie. But her username is Tall Hot Blonde. And so he starts messaging with her privately, and he's like, are you really tall and hot and blonde? And she sends him photos of herself, and here is an actual photo of her next to her mom. And here's another photo of her. And despite the fact that he's 28 years older than she is, and he's married, Thomas thinks Jessie is fine. And you know, Thomas, he doesn't want to tell her that he's some married middle-aged dad, so he starts lying to her. He's like, I'm 18 too, and I'm a Marine. In fact, his username is actually Marine Sniper. He was in the military in the past, but he's never really been a sniper. Regardless, Jessie thinks all that is kind of fine. And she's like, oh, do you have big shoulders? I like big shoulders. And Thomas is like, yeah, I do got big shoulders. And Thomas, he goes on to catfish her and create an entirely false version of himself, telling her he's a tall, tough, muscular Marine guy. And he sends her a picture of himself when he was young, and this is actually the picture, but he's not telling her that this picture is really from 30 years ago. And so Jessie believes him, and the two of them, they hit it off and they start flirting. Then they start sending spicy messages to one another, and soon enough, they're saying I love you to each other. Now, when it comes to these two meeting up in real life, Thomas always makes excuses about why he can't meet up with her, like, sorry baby, I'm in the Marines. But they keep online dating, and eventually he gets way into this scheme, and he becomes addicted to talking to Jessie. He loves pretending to be a teenage war hero sniper. He even proposes to her online, and she says yes. Like, what? Anyway, some time passes, and we're now in 2006. And at this point, Thomas's wife, because remember, he's married, Thomas's wife is starting to notice that he spends a lot of time on the computer. And she starts getting suspicious, like, who are you talking to online? And he's like, oh, just the guys from work. And I guess she believes him, so he just keeps going. Now, he knows he can never actually meet up with Jessie because then she'll see that he's a middle-aged dad and she'll know he's a fraud and his catfish relationship will end. So he just keeps going, thinking, I'll have fun with this and nothing bad will ever come from it. Until one day a package is delivered to Thomas's house and Thomas's wife opens it and she finds a love letter from Jessie, complete with spicy photos and a red thong. Ew. And of course, Thomas's wife is shocked and disgusted. Not only is her husband having an affair, he's doing it with an 18-year-old girl. And on top of that, he's lying to her about who he is. This guy ain't no sniper. Now, Thomas's wife, she's mad, but she doesn't want to kick her husband out of the house. I mean, they have kids together. But she does want to break up his affair. So she writes a letter to Jesse saying, you know, the guy that you're writing is actually my husband and he's taking advantage of you. He's lying. And then she includes this photo of their family. And there is the real Thomas. He doesn't look like a Marine sniper at all, does he? So when Jessie gets this letter, she is shocked and she's hurt. Like, how could he do this to her? How could a person on the internet tell complete lies like this? Was none of what he told her true? She wants to know the truth, and she comes up with a plan of how to find out. She remembers the username of one of Thomas's coworkers that they used to play online poker with, that guy Brian that I mentioned. So she messages Brian, and she's like, is Thomas really 46 years old and married? And Brian's like, yeah. And, you know, he's a nice guy, so he feels bad for her, so he consoles her, and they keep talking. And they have quite a few conversations, and pretty soon, they become friends. And Brian, he's 22, so he's much closer to her age. And so soon enough, bam, they start flirting, and they start sending dirty messages to each other, and Brian starts to really like Jessie. However, what Brian doesn't know is that Jessie is still mad at Thomas for lying to her, and her entire plan is to use Brian to get back at him. And so Jessie manipulates Brian into messing with Thomas. Like Brian goes to work at the factory about how he catfished a girl on the internet claiming to be an 18-year-old sniper. And of course, Thomas is humiliated by this. Not only that, in the online game room on the poker site, Jessie and Brian are flirting right in front of him. And this pisses Thomas off real bad. Jessie was supposed to be his girl. So Thomas hits up Jessie and he's like, what are you doing? And Jessie's like, Brian's close to my age and I love him. And to really rub it in his face, she reveals that she's been sending Brian spicy photos. And this is where Thomas finally just loses it. And he vows that he's gonna get rid of Brian for good. And so he gets his rifle and he shows up to the factory where they work. And as Brian is leaving the building and he gets in his truck, Thomas approaches him and he points his rifle at him and blam, blam, blam. He unalives him right there in his truck. Then Thomas goes to his wife and he begs her, if the police ask, tell them that I was home all night. He's trying to create an alibi for himself. But wife is apparently still mad at him for cheating. And so she's like, nah. And she goes and she tells police, actually officers, as a matter of fact, he wasn't home that night. And so, bam, they arrest Thomas. Here's his mugshot. Okay, but here's where the story gets really crazy. While police are interrogating Thomas about all this stuff that happened, they drop a bomb on him. They put a picture of Jessie in front of him. This picture. And Thomas is like, yeah, this is the girl I've been talking to online. And police are like, no, this is who you've been talking to online. Because it turns out that Jessie isn't Jessie at all. She was also a catfish. Thomas had never been talking to the real Jessie. He was talking to Jessie's mom the whole time, a 46-year-old mother and wife. The real Jessie, the real 18-year-old girl, had no idea that her mom was pretending to be her the whole time. Not only that, her mom had been secretly taking pictures of her, sometimes including things like pictures taken up Jessie's skirt, and she'd send them to creepy guys online that she had met, and she would pretend to be her own daughter and have like spicy conversations with those guys. How fucked up is that? So Thomas was catfishing her while she was also catfishing Thomas. Brian was actually the only one of them who was telling the truth. So anyway, Thomas, he takes a plea deal and he gets 20 years in prison, while Jessie's mom, she gets no prison time because, catfishing's not actually illegal.
That is an actual insane story, and the mom doing that to her own daughter is even crazier. Like him faking his age to a 22, like to an 18-year-old is crazy, but the mom pretending to be the daughter while having naked pictures of her.
Nigerian chef has just attempted history by cooking the largest pot of jollof rice ever. But when it was time to be weighed, something unbelievable happened. Halinda Bachi already holds the world record for the longest marathon cooking session ever. But over the weekend, she took things to the next level. She made a custom 23,000 liter pot, used a massive 4,000 kg of rice, which is the weight of a medium elephant or 2.5 cars. She used 612 kg of oil, don't tell America, 300 kg of onions, 164 kg of goat meat, and to cook it all, 1,200 kg of gas. But after a brutal 9 hours, when it finally came time to weigh this monster dish, as it was being lifted by this crane, one of the sides of the custom pot buckled and gave way to the supporting legs. Now, luckily, none of the food spilled, but ultimately, despite 2 attempts, it could not be weighed and the world record was not recognized. But don't worry, it was not for nothing. The food didn't go to waste. It was distributed in containers and fed to the crowds watching.
That's a lot of food. I mean, I would hope it doesn't go to waste. I wonder if you do the world record things like what she does, if she gets paid, because I'm like, dude, she probably spent so much money on all of that. Hopefully she makes like a bag for real.
Thoughts that'll make you think. How important do you have to be considered assassinated and not just murdered? How do you know you're not crazy and just hallucinating your whole life? How far up do bald people wash their face? How did the person who invented the calendar know what day it was? Why did we decide to give February just 28 days when other months have as many as 31? Why couldn't we just give them one of theirs? Do caterpillars know that they're going to be butterflies when they go into a cocoon? Or do they just go into a cocoon not knowing what will happen? When someone says something is new and improved, how can something be improved if it's new? And what are they improving? Where does a thought go when it's forgotten? Why do people say they slept like a baby through the night when babies are known for not sleeping? If you punch yourself and it hurts, are you weak or strong? If someone told you to be a leader and not a follower, wouldn't that make you a follower if you followed their advice? If the early bird gets the worm, why do good things come to those who wait? How do you grow a seedless fruit? If Cinderella's shoe fit perfectly, then how did it fall off? What was the first man to milk a cow trying to do? What if you suddenly woke up and your whole life was a dream and you woke up as a completely different person living in a completely different world? There's a certain point in everyone's life when how high can you count changes from a matter of knowledge to a matter of will. If you're watching a sunset, someone on the other side of the earth is watching the sun rise. Intentionally losing a game of rock, paper, scissors is just as hard as trying to win one. If 2 mind readers are reading each other's mind, whose mind are they reading? Who decided the alphabet in alphabetical order when the last added letter is J? If oranges are orange, why aren't limes called greens? Or even crazier, why aren't lemons called yellows? What does water taste like? Can you daydream at night? If you're in a competition by yourself, do you come in first place or last? Actions speak louder than words, but speaking is also an action. What came first, the plant or the seed? What came first, the chicken or the egg? If you get scared half to death twice, do you die? If you clean a vacuum, do you become a vacuum cleaner? Why are prisoners given food and water, but homeless people aren't? The youngest picture of you is the oldest picture of you. When we yawn, do deaf people think we're screaming? If you were born deaf, what language do you think in? If 2 vegans are arguing and they don't like each other, is this still considered a beef? Is a group of squids called a squad? Why is it called taking a dump if you're leaving it? If Apple, iPhones, Apple made a car, would they still have windows in it? If you take a shower and you get out of the shower clean, how does your dry off towel become dirty? Why is the pizza box square if the pizza comes in a circle for triangular slices? Faded AF is faded AF backwards. How did the person who made the first clock know what time it was? Why is it called a building if it's already built? If people evolved from monkeys, Why do we still have monkeys? Why do we get in a car but get on a bus? Do you think sand is called sand because it's in between the sea and land? Why is it called chili if it's hot? Why doesn't glue stick to the inside of a bottle? If you crash your car on purpose, is it still called an accident? What if oxygen is just killing us slowly and it takes about 75 to 100 years for it to actually work? 100 years ago, everyone owned a horse and only rich people owned cars. But now, everyone owns cars and only rich people have horses. In 100 years, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Snapchat will all be filled with dead people. Your future self is watching you right now through memories. Look at a mirror. The only part of your reflection you can lick is your tongue. The best part of a cucumber is the worst part of a watermelon.
Thank you all for